Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/Drunken Peasants. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. One of my personal favorites is Stephen King's It, which they're making into a movie. Again.
Coming to you live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants Podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it! Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck you talking about, atheist? It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be liked.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast, where we DP the fuck out of the news and other things. Sometimes each other, too. I'm Ben.
And I am Satan.
Hi, Satan. I missed you. How are you?
Good.
Okay.
My headphones are acting weird.
What's weird about them?
Fucking thing sucks.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
I like your singing.
Do 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 do. I guess they're okay.
Okay. All right. So,
Oh yeah.
I have to fix your... Fuck, man. I have to fix your camera.
This is why we do this shit before the show.
I know.
We're just like, fuck it. Everything's fine.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Do it live. Fuck it.
Yep.
Fucking thing sucks.
Fuck it.
Suck it.
Yep. And we have a special guest today.
Scotty Cena.
Scotty Cena. Hey, how's it going, Scotty Cena?
Yo, everybody knows that he can't see me. I'm itching to beat him like a penis with an STD.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Deeply fascinating.
Yeah.
So, wait. I'm itching to beat him like a penis with an STD.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I
Does that mean he wants to beat his penis?
I don't know if there is an accurate translation.
I don't speak Cena. It's like the Star Trek episode where Captain Picard and that alien species they can't communicate with.
Jalad.
Yeah.
No, Darmok and Jalad.
Darmok and Jalad at Tanaga. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. I like it when he's like Shaka when the walls fell, because it's like basically that means like son of a bitch. Yeah, I like that one.
And John Cena apparently speaks that language.
I think so. Well, and that's back when he was edgier, when he was like a white rapper.
Yeah.
Still terrible,
but edgy.
Yeah.
Makes Stone Cold look like a kitten.
That was the first thing I thought, actually.
Yeah. When you first saw John Cena, you're like, hell yeah.
I was like, who's that?
Ooh, yeah. Ruthless aggression.
Yep. Ruthless aggression.
Right.
All right. So I found this video. I guess someone told me that this guy's friends with Lacey Green. He's got a channel that's kind of popular, and this is a video about him. It's called Identifying as a Feminist. So I can tell that you and him are going to have a lot to agree on.
Yes. Probably going to be fast friends. Intro.
Hey guys, so
Hey guys.
I don't usually vlog about what I'm about to vlog about. That was a tongue twister for you there. Feminism,
Not
racism,
really.
any
Wait, hold on.
social issues.
Yeah.
That's not really a tongue twister.
Yeah, tongue twister's like...
I don't usually vlog about what I'm about to vlog about.
It's like
That's
wristwatch wedding ring.
Right, or,
Toy-
Peter Packer. See, I fucked it up already. But no, that's not a tongue twister
Yeah.
at all.
I like to do tongue twisters, actually.
You like to twist your tongue around John Cena's fucking dick. All right, that's getting old.
Yeah.
Next.
A lot of this
I mean,
comes
not
from a
next,
pathological
but
fear of being wrong, and then that view that I've expressed being out there even though I might have subsequently changed my mind. But then it's too late. For instance, in my ladies survey from 2 years ago.
Every time a woman, black person, or homosexual does anything, guys, we should be focusing on their accomplishments the way we would with anyone else, regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, or ethnicity.
Which is funny because I agree with what he just said, but
Yeah.
he's gonna say that he doesn't agree with what he had said in the past.
What
here.
he just said there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim out.
Shut up past me. Now, I don't think the view I expressed in
Why?
that video is horrible, but 2 years on, I have become a wiser person, at least I hope so, and I don't share that same view anymore.
Why not?
As is life, right? In that
I'm guessing it's because he's more PC these days.
I don't get it though. How is like that seems like a pretty enlightened point of view.
Right.
So what's wrong with that point of view? Is he going to explain that?
I don't know. I think he's going to move on to feminism specifically here.
Oh, okay.
clip from 2 years ago, I stressed that I didn't want to treat women differently when reviewing art. I guess I was perhaps concerned of maybe coming across condescending, like, oh, look, you're a woman and you directed a film. And maybe I wanted to avoid saying anything that could be interpreted that way. Regardless of what my logic was, I don't actually share that view anymore. I still understand why I
Now
could've
I
thought something
judge
like
the
that.
fuck out of women for their gender and shit. Oh, you're black. You're black. You're a woman. You're a black woman.
Oh, man.
I don't
But
understand.
2 years on, I have changed my view, and maybe in the future,
All right.
I will again. Press
What have you
coverage
changed
about
it to?
female writers and directors accomplishing great things is about celebrating the successes of women despite
okay.
their oppression, and hopefully
I
it'll
see.
inspire.
So he used. I see what he's saying. He's saying that he used to have the point of view of like, you know, let's not even bring gender and race and stuff into it. But now he's saying like, no, we need to celebrate it and like be like, yeah, look at what this woman accomplished.
Right.
I don't know. To me, that seems more condescending. Like, you accomplished this and you're a woman. Wow. I don't know. I mean, I guess I get the spirit of what he's saying. Like, we need to celebrate when women break out of the boxes that society puts them in or whatever. But at this point, like, how many boxes are they really in?
Not many.
I mean, I guess, like, if you're talking about, like, he used an example of a female film director, and I think only, like, 12% of directors are female, so that is probably an area where women are, like, lagging behind, but, you know, I'm sure that's society's fault.
Right.
Young girls to do the same. I guess I used to fall into the category of people who'd say, well, it doesn't matter that she's a woman. It doesn't matter. Which is true, but also kind of untrue. Because
Is it true or untrue?
It's true, but it's kind of untrue.
That doesn't make any fucking
No,
sense.
it does. You gotta fucking, you know, it's true, but it's kind of untrue.
What I'm wondering is, did someone give him shit for his old views and that's why he
It
changed?
could have been Lacey for all we know. Lacey's like, that's wrong. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
You kind of gave Lacey a British accent for a second.
Well, she
there.
has one too when she's talking to him.
indeed, it doesn't matter if a man or a woman made the film. If it's good art, then yay. But it slightly negates the society we live in. When Ellen Page recently came out as gay, IMDb posted that on their Facebook page. And the overwhelming majority of people reacting to that news said, I don't care, just give me movie news. Who cares? Now, in a way, that's a good thing, right? It's a good sign that most people...
I would say it's not a good thing in a way. It's just a good thing in general.
Right.
Like, because, I mean, 20 years ago... That's a big deal. Remember, like, you know, Ellen came out as like, oh my God!
Right.
You know, and people were divided, and there were, you know, people on both sides of the issue and all this other stuff. And, you know, it was this big brouhaha. Ellen Page comes out as gay. People are like, don't give a shit. Couldn't care less.
And before that, you know, in the older days of television and Hollywood, gay actors wouldn't come out of the closet at all.
Right, and if they did, it's like, oh, well, your career's over.
Yeah, Rock Hudson, that's one prime example. He was kind of the first one that it came to light after the fact that he was gay.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
Rock Hudson is a heterosexual.
Well, he's dead now, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, he was, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
don't care whether or not Ellen Page enjoys the company of men or women in the bedroom. That's a good sign, right? Kind of. But their dismissal of the fact that it isn't...
He's got a lot of these kind ofs and caveats and shit. Like, well, that's a good thing, but no.
And it's kind of true, but it's also not true.
It's true and it's not true and it is true again. Part of it's true and part of it's false, and then the true part and the false part get all mixy mashed up together, and you just can't tell which is which.
He's like continuously riding the proverbial fence.
Yeah, it's like,
of both
oh
sides.
God, I've just got to straddle this middle ground as best I can. Don't want to sound like I'm taking a fucking concrete position either way. No, lean a little this way. No, that's too far. Oh, no, that's too far.
Important for someone like Ellen Page to be able to express her sexuality in a heteronormative society is probably not so good. It's the whole, well, I'm not a racist argument. Just because you're not, and that's great, doesn't mean that the world is as progressive as you are. I mean, think about that piece of news for a young girl.
Everyone speaks for themselves, you know? I mean, even if someone says no one cares, it's really just an expression. It just means I don't care.
Right.
I mean, of course there are people who do have, you know, I mean, if you really look through the comments about the Ellen Page shit, I'm sure you could find a bunch of people like, wow, what a big, you know, triumphant moment and all that shit. And then I'm sure you can find people who are like, fuck that dyke bitch. I ain't never fucking paying to see another one of her shitty movies, you know? So, you know, of course those different opinions are still out there, but the majority of people are just like, we don't care. It's of no consequence to us what Ellen Page does in her bedroom. She ain't blowing me, so what concern is it of mine?
Who's maybe uncertain about her sexuality. Maybe she's developing feelings of a sexual nature for other girls, and then perhaps someone she idolizes, maybe Ellen Page, coming out and confidently saying that she is a lesbian could be the most important news story in the world.
That's
for
fine.
That person. So
that's fine. What's the problem? I mean, that's fine. Everyone has their own set of priorities, and, you know, everyone reacts to different stories differently. I mean, you know, something I think is important, someone else might just be like, who gives a shit?
Right. I mean, like Marilyn Manson, for instance.
Right. That's the nature of fucking reality. Is, you know, the stuff you care about, some other people care about it, some other people hate it, and a lot of people just don't give a shit. But this guy is like, no, he just wants everyone to share this same reaction. Like, we all just need to have this, you know, this prepackaged response that I think is appropriate. And no one is allowed to have this divergence from that. And if you don't care, you better find it in yourself to care. It's like, well, I don't care. I'm sorry, but I just don't. And apparently a lot of other people don't care. And I think, to me, it's progressive when you don't fucking make a big deal out of someone's sexuality. But if there is that young girl out there who's like, well, I'm having these feelings, and then Ellen Page is her idol, and then Ellen Page comes out, and that's a big inspiration for her, yeah, that's fine. More power to that and that whole situation. No one's trying to stop that from happening. But that doesn't mean that we all have to be like, oh, what a courageous, brave.
That's what I do in front of TJ all the time. I'm like, oh, TJ, I realize that you also like dick, so I'm going to take some time to acknowledge that every time I see you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ben's going to be like, good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job on your love of dick.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yep.
You're you're an inspiration to us all.
Conclusion, yes, I think I was wrong 2 years ago. But I wasn't necessarily less progressive back then, perhaps a little uninformed, but I was and still am a feminist, and that's what this video is about.
Took you that long to get to that point.
That was a long intro.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like my intros to my videos are a little bit like digressions and like going off topic and shit. And like I feel like I start chastising myself if it takes a minute to get into the topic. But man, this guy was just like, I'm going to talk about all this unrelated nonsense, and then finally, the topic of the video.
I do, and personally always have, identified as a feminist. Now, I have friends, both men and women, who don't identify as feminists. Okay. For various reasons. Some of them think that it no longer carries that dictionary definition of a person who believes in equal rights between men and women. Others feel disillusioned with the actions of people who do identify as feminists. Now, even though I kind of disagree with these viewpoints, I can sympathize.
Kind of disagree with them, but he sympathizes. This guy is the most middling fuck ever.
Right.
Like, he does not take a strong stance on anything ever. And I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's good to have the fucking fence riders that are like, well, I see both points of view. But I mean, you can see both points of view and still definitively be on one side or the other, you know? So, whatever.
I mean, ultimately, feminism is just a word, and words can mean different things to different people. right? Time for a controversial point, but if you'll bear with me, you'll see what I'm getting at, hopefully. Can't we compare this, in a way, to the use of the word friend-zoning? OxfordDictionaries.com defines the word friend-zoning as a situation in which friendship exists between two people, one of whom has an unreciprocated romantic or sexual interest in the other. So
It's actually in a dictionary?
I guess so.
Really?
Well, it is part of the common vernacular.
Yeah.
it's not a gender-specific term, neither does it imply blame on the person doing the friend-zoning. So if person A and person B meet each other, then there are three options. Option 1, person A and person B fancy each other, and they become lovers. Yay! Sex! Option 2, neither person A or person B fancy each other sexually, but they like each other as friends. Then they become friends. Yay! Friendship! Option 3,
An
either
occasional
person
friendship sex.
A or person B
desperation,
like the idea of
obviously.
having a sexual relationship, whilst the other doesn't. Now, understandably, this is a shame for the person interested in more, and this is arguably what is defined as friend zoning. Technically, there's a fourth option in which neither person A nor person B like each other, and then there's no sex. And no friendship. But that's just
There
sad.
might
So in the
still be
first few
sex.
stages of meeting a new human, there is a brief limbo phase in which the boundaries of that relationship have not been set yet. Because you don't just walk up to someone and go, hey there, I'm interested in having an emotional and possibly sexual connection with you.
You don't do that? Really?
That was my pickup line.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know.
Thoughts?
I
Now,
always
I
use
personally
that
don't
one.
use the word friend zone. I never have. Maybe because I don't very often suffer from unreciprocated sexual interest. I'm so lonely. But I have friends who do. And whenever they use the term, they aren't implying blame.
I'm bored.
Or
Are you bored?
I'm always bored.
I'm bored with this.
Okay.
Can we move on?
Sure. Anything else you want to say about it before we move on?
He's boring and I don't care.
Okay.
Oh, and the friend zoning thing, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Sure.
So the next video is
Josh Fierstein.
it's actually not. I got it from his
Okay.
it's that video I showed you before we went on the air. The Christian poet guy.
Right.
Yeah, I found it from Josh Fuckstain's
Well, I should
Facebook.
set this up. I don't know. You guys probably remember Jefferson Bethke, the poet, the Christian poet that I made a few responses to. One of my most popular videos, I Hate Religion and Jesus Too. So check that out if you haven't seen that already. But this guy is not Jefferson Bethke, but it's someone who is basically trying to be Jefferson Bethke. So if there's anything worse than a bad Christian slam poet, it's someone who's trying to jack the style of that bad Christian slam poet. Let's hear this bullshit.
It's kind of like Jefferson Bethke is the Transformers of Christian poets, and this
he's
guy's the GoBots.
Yeah, the GoBot. Yeah.
Very dramatic sounding music.
Got no snare in my headphones.
Sex and marriage and sex. They said first comes marriage and next comes sex. They
I don't-
told
I
me
know-
don't have
I don't know if
sex
they
until
could
you
see
say I
that or
do.
not,
Staying pure
but,
is everything I thought I knew.
I don't know if it was visible on their screens, but the title of this is 50 Shades of Grace. So, yeah.
I'm saving myself till marriage, said the 10-year-old me. But that was before puberty and MTV, before R-rated movies and computer screens. That was before late nights with pretty girls.
It was before MTV? I don't know, man. You don't look that old. I don't know. Anyway.
No, but I love how he's like, yeah, man, it's all MTV and the computer and the movies, and that's where it came from. I mean, like, the only thing he blames that's even slightly credible is puberty. I mean, everything else, it doesn't matter if you raise kids, like, and this happens all the time, like, these kids. I just read an article the other day about this guy who was raised in this, like, fundamentalist Christian family that never talked about sex, and he ended up molesting his sister, basically, because he didn't even know what the fuck he was doing when he was, like, 11 or 12 years old, and because, he was totally sheltered and stuff. So it doesn't matter if you shelter kids from all these bad influences. All they really need is their biological predisposition towards having fucking sex with each other. And I mean, the human species was still fucking like rabbits before there was MTV, before there was late night movies, before there was the internet and all the porn options available. I mean, hell, I think porn actually keeps a lot of guys from getting laid. Just like, well, I don't want to fuck with some woman when I could just jerk off to what's on this screen. Yeah, this is just as fulfilling to me. So I mean, it's not really like, don't blame that shit. You know, it's not the computer's fault that you fucking strayed from your bullshit path. It's just your own human fucking nature, bitch. Bitch. Evolution, bitch. Yeah.
Temptations and promises of a broken world. That was before whispers in my ear and tugging at my shirt. Before I realized the pain, regret, and hurt. That's before I realized that sex is a tattoo. It only takes one night to leave its mark on you. That's before I realized that sex outside of marriage isn't pleasure. It's pressure with consequences that can't be measured.
Okay, so sex outside of marriage isn't pleasure. Anyone who's had sex outside of marriage would probably contradict that statement. I mean, granted, not all sex is fucking good, but usually when people have sex, they find it to be at least somewhat pleasurable. It's not just like, man, I really wish I wouldn't have let my friends pressure me into doing that before I was ready.
No. Yeah, when I first had sex, I was definitely, I wanted to do it, you know, I was pretty much ready.
Did you save yourself for marriage?
No.
Well, neither did our friend here, so.
Yeah.
But he wanted to.
But you're not 100% you. You've given away a part of yourself and you've taken part of her too. And it doesn't stop there because the ripples keep going. Because you've damaged her future husband without him knowing. You fail to realize that she's something precious, worth being treasured. So you defile her body because of peer pressure. You're like, nah.
No. That's just a stupid way of looking at the world. And it's wrong. And it's regressive. And it doesn't even make sense. There's nothing about people fucking each other that's like, we're taking part of each other away, you know, like innocence lost or whatever. That's just nonsense. There's no, you've ruined her for her future husband when you do that. How? If anything, I fucking helped him out by giving her a little practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now she knows what the fuck she's doing, so she can please him better.
There are people in the chat room putting hashtag Ben is a virgin, and then there's people putting hashtag Ben is a slut. It should be hashtag Ben is a virgin slut.
Ben is a virgin slut. Actually, we should take a cue from our English friend and say, well, Ben is a virgin, but he's kind of a slut.
Nah, man, I'm just trying to get her number and have sex. But what happens a few months later when you get that text? I'm late is all that it says. So
now he's saying you shouldn't have sex because you might knock somebody up.
There's lots of ways to prevent that from happening.
Right. And, you know, it is obviously a possibility, but I believe most people are aware of that.
No, I wasn't. Until this guy said that, I was like, what does he even talk about? What does he mean late? Late for what? I'm confused by this.
Palms turn sweaty, your face turns red. You're too young to be a father. You didn't want all this. A little bit of fun and now comes a kid. So you start looking for the rewind button. You wish you could go back. But if you did, you just end up with some other girl in the sack. Because sex is your god and you have to have it. And one girl's not enough because now you're an addict. Because when you see that girl at the store, what do you really see? A smile with a soul or a body that you have to meet?
Okay. Why can't it be both?
He also says sex is your god.
Sex is your god.
It goes back to that altar of orgasms thing that Wild Bill said in his one video. People pray to sex.
They pray to sex. I do that. Sex, please give me a good job and a new car.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Shit.
Praying to sex. That's all you fucking do is just pray to sex. You're God. I am a sex god, actually, so.
Stranger walks by and you turn your head. You're saying with your eyes that she's not worth your respect. She's just a body for your pleasure, a fantasy for your mind. And if she isn't giving it up, then she's not worth your time.
Hey, this crazy radical Christian guy and feminists actually have something in common there.
What's that?
Well, I mean, he's saying, like, you're just looking at her for her body. You don't respect her as a person. And it's the same fallacy that these feminists go out there toting and shit. It's like, if you're sexually interested in a woman's body, then you don't even view her as a human being. It's
right.
Like, okay, that's...
Can't you do both?
Right. I mean, it's like if the cable guy comes to my house or something and he's gonna... I mean, I'm interested in him for his fucking cable skills, but maybe I would think I would still recognize the fact that he's a human being, you know? or, you know, something like that. It's just like, you know, just because someone has some utility to you doesn't mean that you're automatically just reducing them to that. That's just silly. Now, there are people who think that way, but that's not just the automatic way it fucking is or some shit.
She isn't in her personality, it's in her physical features. And if the curves aren't right, then why even meet her? See, a man is concerned with her goals, dreams, and future plans.
I think he's saying a lot about himself and the way he thinks.
Right.
Honestly.
I know what I mean. It's like, basically, he's just talking about the mentality that he was in. But it's like, okay, you don't need to be a Christian to escape from that mentality. You just need to not be a fucking asshole.
A boy only thinks about how quick he can get in her pants. What, too real? I should tone it down a bit? I'd rather be real than keep a tight lip. You're like, yeah, man, preach it. Tell them to respect us women. That's right. But you're probably the same girl who bought a ticket to see Magic Mike.
Oh.
So now he's going to say, you know, if you watch a movie about male strippers, you're just as bad.
Yeah, you the same girl bought a ticket to Magic Mike. It's like, oh, got them on their hypocrisy, bro. Yeah, you women have sex drives too. What about that, bitch, huh? Yeah, Jesus.
Money to see men degrade themselves by stripping. And you're the same girl who tells your boyfriend if he doesn't respect your body, he's tripping. See, the street goes both ways. It's not just the guys. In order to have respect, you gotta have respect in your own eyes. Complaining about guys not treating you like a lady while walking around with clothes so tight they belong on a baby. So you gotta respect yourself.
Just. Oh my.
He was really reaching for a rhyme there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, gotta be something rhymes here. Lady, rabies, maybe. Crazy. Davy. Baby.
There you go.
Baby,
you got it.
Clothes so tight. They belong on a baby. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is some sick ass shit. I think this guy and John Cena should form a rap group together.
G-Man has to be in there too.
And G-Man.
Because, you know, this guy and G-Man, they're both like Christian rappers, I guess. I don't even know if you can call this rap because he's not. It's there's no rhythm to it. It's just poetry.
It's like slam poetry.
Yeah,
or
basically.
whatever the fuck you call it. Bleh.
He never will. He'll just use you for your body until he gets his fill. Then it's on to the next with a booty and chest because it was never about love. It was only about sex. Then you wake up and take a look at your history. You're overcome with regret. You feel filth and misery. So you jump in the shower and you scrub, but no amount of soap can make you feel clean enough because you took the lie and you gave yourself away. You bought into a society that promotes 50 Shades of Grey, but your sins
Gave into a society that promotes
right,
like society. All of society. I love when these fucking people say this shit, like society does this. It's like, unless there's like a law on the books or something, or there's just like a rampant problem. But like anytime something's the least bit popular, like society just approves of this. It's like, no, society isn't doing that. That's an author wrote a book that got popular and a lot of people read it. And now it's being made into a movie that probably a lot of people will see, but that doesn't mean that, like, society itself has given this the rubber stamp of approval. Like, yes, this is a good thing, and this is what we like. Damn it.
can be gone, they can be washed away, because Christ has been there all along with 50 shades of grace. You see, Jesus doesn't love you because of what you've done. He loves you for who you are, not what you become. He loves you because he is love, and love is all that he knows. He loves you despite your sin, your highs and your lows. So it doesn't matter what you've done, it doesn't matter where you've been. The good news is there's forgiveness in him. The past is the past.
So does that mean you can fuck all you want, but if you pray to Jesus, it's okay?
I think that's what he's saying, yeah. He's like, go ahead and be this way, but at the end of the day, be like, Jesus, I'm sorry. I know what a shitheel I am. And then you go to heaven, just like Hitler.
Past that we can never get it back. But life is a marathon, not a 1-mile track. So you don't have to make a lap back to where you began. You can run to Jesus and take his hand. You can start a new race, a brand new life. One that doesn't start with sex.
Start a new race. I guess he is Hitler, yeah.
Well, he means the metaphorical.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just, yeah.
He is Hitler. He's got a mustache.
I'm convinced.
One that starts with Christ.
All right. Put on your hood and walk away,
right,
buddy.
yeah, that's what he's going to do, but we're not going to watch it.
That's the best part is when he walks away.
Next video, here's a woman responding to your anti-feminism. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it's a rather long video. We'll just comment on the beginning of it here.
Okay.
What's up, YouTube? So I wanted to come
Nothing much.
and candidly respond to a popular YouTube vlogger, goes by the name of The Amazing Atheist, and I've been avoiding making a video response to
I wish you kept avoiding it.
a lot of your anti-feminist videos, but I couldn't hold my tongue anymore, and so I just had to come, and I really just had to speak out, okay?
All right. Get started.
First of all, I want to say that I think that you are an amazing person.
Woo!
I thoroughly enjoy your
amazing.
videos, and I actually watch you because of your anti-religion videos. And I'm not
feminism's
an
a religion. I mean, well, feminism might not be
It's
a religion,
dogmatic.
but it's extremely dogmatic.
Yeah.
And they definitely have their own set of unique sins that you're not allowed to do.
Right. And I've noticed that, you know, a lot of feminists are atheists.
Yeah. Well, that's why the atheist community is being taken over by feminists. Pretty soon pretty soon someone's going to write an article, if it hasn't happened already. They're going to write an article that says the amazing atheist is not an atheist because he's not a feminist. And, you know, in order to be an atheist, you have to also be a feminist. And Atheism Plus is already taking things in that direction.
Right.
And it's like, wow, I became an atheist to get away from dogmatic thinking and all these, like, don't think for yourself, just surrender to our automatic system of values and think as we think. It's like, no, I'm rejecting that. But now the atheists are like, man, we missed that. Bring that back in there. The feminists will help us. They'll get us all on their page. That guy's shirt pisses me off. Make him cry.
Right, and don't they have some very specific guidelines for the get-togethers that Atheism Plus has?
Oh yeah, well they've even made the regular conferences like just a totalitarian nightmare of rules and shit. And it's like there's so much emphasis placed on like don't do anything that we could even vaguely construe as harassing women on any level. So I mean like. I guess you can still harass men, like, so I can walk up to a dude and grab his dick, but, you know, if it's a woman, I can't do the same with her pussy or her tits or anything. So I'm glad to know, that I still have options available to me, but for all my completely heterosexual brethren out there, I feel bad for them. Can't even grab a woman's tits anymore. So sad.
Person, but I am definitely against Christianity and just the stupidity that it teaches, and however, I am a very spiritual person, so you and I do different
spirits.
Yeah, I never really understood I'm not
religious.
But
I am spiritual.
Yeah.
Well,
when it comes to that, but so I feel a lot of the things that you say and your videos just have me cracking up. Even some of your anti-feminist videos crack me up, okay? However, in all seriousness, I have got to say something about your overall opinion of most feminists, okay? Now, first of all, I will say this, that I am a feminist, okay? Now, it's not like I feel the need to go around telling everybody I'm a feminist, and I don't feel the
You just did.
I'm doing that now.
Right.
I'm a feminist. Now, it's not like I got the need to tell people I'm a feminist, but I'm a feminist, and as a feminist, here's what I think as a feminist. Okay.
Need to, just go around and just, some of the things that feminists talk about, I feel they aren't very important. So there are some of your feminist videos that I actually do agree with. But I have to say that, as an individual, we have the right to feel the way that we want to feel, just like you have the right to your own opinion, and feminists have the right to feel how they want to feel.
I don't remember you ever saying they don't have the right.
I don't recall ever being like, you feminists have no right to think the way you do. I've never once said that, nor would I ever say that. I believe that everyone has the right to think anything they want to think.
Right.
I mean, I don't even care if you're if you're that guy that we had on that on the show. I wasn't here, but the guy that's like the Earth doesn't rotate.
Right.
I would never be like, you're not allowed to think that way, buddy.
Right. It's just when you espouse those views
right.
in a public forum, you're going to be criticized.
Right. You know, especially, you know, and I'm sure that the guy posting that video knew he's going to be criticized. And, you know, feminists should expect criticism just as I expect criticism. And everyone should expect criticism if they're going to be part of a public forum or discussion. You know, no one is going to be immune. There's no fucking buddy out there in this world who just goes out there and states their opinions and everyone agrees. And everyone thinks like, wow, yeah, you're on the right page, buddy.
I would never
I don't know what we were
how
thinking
they
before you came
should
along.
feel about a situation. For example, the woman that walked around in, I think it was New York for 50 hours and was getting all the street harassment.
It was like 10 hours, wasn't it?
You know, men are just like, oh, well, what does she care? You know, she should be flattered. But a lot of women don't like that. So, you know, and I understand why, you know, and it just, I think that it just really depends on, it's a matter of opinion on things, but you cannot tell people how they should feel.
You know, I mean, we didn't even, that wasn't even our response to that video anyway. We weren't like, man, she should just be flattered.
Right.
You know?
One thing that we did say was that a lot of the comments, at least in the video, didn't seem like harassment. Some of them were.
Sure.
But some of them were just like, good morning.
Yeah, you know, I don't see how good morning or hey, how's it going or hello or hey, how you doing or something like that. That's not any, I mean, like, that. If it wouldn't be harassment if you said it to me, why is it harassment if you said it to a woman? You know? But obviously, like, the guys that, like, the creepy dude that, like, followed her for a block or two, or, you know, these guys are like, hey, beautiful, how you doing? Oh, my God.
Right.
You should talk to people when they call you beautiful.
Yeah.
You need to be more respectful and all this other shit. Like, those guys, fuck them. They're pieces of shit. No one likes them. No one should like them. Fuck them. Fuck them to death. But the guys who are just like, hey, and all that other stuff, that's fine. And, you know, there's always assholes. There's always fucking assholes. Everybody has to deal with assholes. It's not a woman problem. It's not a man problem. It's just a fucking problem of the human species. There's always going to be some fucking asshole out there with a stupid opinion and a big mouth.
But here's what I want to say. Here's what bothers me about
finally.
it. Okay, here's what bothers me about your response. Your response to a lot of the things that feminists say, I really honestly feel as though you are in denial. Either you're in denial because you want to make sure that you appeal to your audience, or you're just like most males who don't really understand. Like, you know, it's...
Okay. So quite a generalization. Most males just don't understand.
If I were to say that most women don't understand any subject,
misogynist,
it would be instant misogyny. But the feminists always feel free to be like, men just don't fucking get it. It's like, okay, well, then, I mean, I'm willing. I'm sitting here with fucking open ears and an open mind. Go ahead and explain it to me. No one should have to explain this to you. It should be obvious. Well, it's not, and you just said it's not obvious because I'm a man and I don't understand, so why don't you explain it? It's like, no, I don't have to. It's like, okay, well then fuck you.
Yeah, because you can't, you know, live at least a moment as a woman, there's no way you can possibly understand.
Yeah, and I love that fucking idea that, you know, I mean, like, any fucking group that you're a part of that's a smaller group of people, you can just use that to excuse any behavior. Like, I could just walk into a store and punch someone in the face. Like, what'd you do that for? It's like, hey, man, you don't understand what it's like to be tall. Or, you know, I just fucking walk into a park and fucking pull down my pants and fucking piss on the fucking, you know, grass. And, you know, where someone's having a picnic or something, just go piss on their fucking picnic. They'd be like, what the fuck you doing, bro? It's like, hey, I'm bisexual. I'm a minority. You don't know what it's like to be me. If you did, you would see, you would understand this. But since you're not, you don't. So shut your fucking mouth, you privileged piece of shit.
It can be difficult to understand a person. It can be difficult to understand a person's gender. And I know that you're a really open person. I totally love how you're open about your sexuality, because I'm bisexual. I'm the same way. You know, and you even talk about nature sometimes, and you know, I dig that a lot as well. And so, and I'm going to go back to that later on in this video, and I'm not going to make this really long.
Get to the point.
What I want to say is that it's almost like, you know, you and a lot of other anti-feminist vloggers and a lot of the anti-feminist people on YouTube just have a total disconnect from reality.
Okay.
So, would you consider yourself literally an anti-feminist, or are you just critical of feminism? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, you know, I have I have an anti-feminism playlist on my channel. But I don't know if I would consider myself inherently anti-feminist, because there's feminists out there that I mostly agree with.
Yeah, I mean, if you had the power to do so, would you just eradicate feminism completely from the world?
I wouldn't do that with any ideology, no matter how reprehensible I thought it was, because I think that people have to come to their own. I mean, people have to come to ideas on their own. I don't think that it should be within my power or anyone else's to prohibit certain modes of thought, but you know, obviously I've made videos critical of what has become the new mainstream of feminism due to Tumblr and Twitter and, you know, the social media shit and the reactionary Anita Sarkeesians of the world who, you know, distort information, lie about themselves, lie about what their objectives are, lie about their agenda, and then, you know, put out these completely deceitful and misleading videos on the subjects that they're purporting to discuss, wherein, you know, you see cherry-picked information, you see information presented out of its proper context, you see her just outright lying sometimes. And, you know, and she's the big one, and then, you know, that those feminists in Canada, that these MRAs were trying to have a rally, and the feminists pulled the fire alarm and you know, shouted them down. And
was that Big Red? I think they call her Big Red.
I guess that was yeah, Big Red. I'm trying to talk, fuckface.
Yeah. All right, we'll spend a few more minutes on this.
Okay.
So what is really going on?
I think I heard my piece.
Now, I'm not saying The Amazing Atheist is disconnected from reality. I think that it's not for reality, so you really don't understand. I don't really take you.
Well, I mean, so you're not disconnected from reality, but you have your own separate reality? Is that what you...
Well, I mean, I guess in like a perceptual sense, everyone has their own reality, because, you know, you always see everything through the lens of your own perceptions and ideas and upbringing and all that other bullshit. But there's also an actual reality that we all that's how we're able to even interact with each other as individuals and stuff, because there's an actual reality that's, you know, set and defined, and maybe we don't fully understand it as human beings, but it's still there. And, you know, I guess that she's saying that I understand that reality to an extent, but I don't understand the reality of being a woman. But the thing is that I have tons of female friends, and you know, some of them are feminists, but the vast majority think that what's happening with feminism now is retarded. And they feel like actually pressured by these feminists. Like, if you don't agree with us, then, you know, you're against women, and you have internalized misogyny and all this other nonsense.
As an unempathetic person, you know, but some people, their empathy, you know, goes beyond, such as myself. And then there are some people, they're just as empathetic as they could be. And I don't think that you lack empathy, but I think that you, like so many other men, are trained, and you're just really programmed to just feel this entitlement.
Okay.
Now,
I've yet to hear a concrete point being made.
I think that was a point. I don't know if it was necessarily concrete, but
I mean, you know,
you're programmed to feel entitled.
Well, she's talking about, I mean, you know, she's talking about my mindset and her opinions on what my mindset is, and that's, you know, interesting, and I'll fucking whatever, I'll fucking put that into account, but I've yet to hear her actually contradict anything I've said in any of my anti-feminist videos. So, like, where's the beef? Right? I mean, where's the substance to this fucking video? So far, it's just been, you know, I'm a feminist and, you know, I think you're wrong and I think that you've been programmed and I think that men think this way and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, well, where is the actual refutation here? Where's the point where you're going to concretely say, amazing atheist, you said this, and here is why this is wrong? That's what I'm waiting for. That's the moment in this video that I've been fucking sitting here holding my breath, hoping will fucking crop up at some goddamn point.
Do you want me to skip to the end and see maybe...
Let's skip more to the middle, I guess.
Okay.
And see if she's actually talking about something.
Making light of Anita Carcesian, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. You were making...
You are.
Anita Carcinogen.
That's actually a good name for her.
Making light of her being threatened. And it was just like, oh, but it's just a threat. It's just a threat. No, it's not just a threat. These threats.
It is just a threat. Nothing happened.
You know, if something happened, then, I mean, like, how you determine whether or not something is just a threat or if it's like a serious thing is if it actually happens. Then you say, oh, well, I guess it wasn't just a threat. But, you know, I get threats. As I said in that video, plenty of people have gotten threats. The example I used was Marilyn Manson after the Columbine shooting. He was blamed by a lot of people in the media for influencing the shooters. And so when he came back to Colorado a year later, the show was plagued with bomb threats. It was plagued with death threats. We're going to kill Manson. We're going to kill anyone who's listening to Manson, blah, blah, blah. And they still put on the show because, you know what? Just because someone issues a threat doesn't mean that you should alter your life. And if Anita Sarkeesian really believes the things she's saying, then a mere threat, which anyone could make, which I could make, which Ben could make, which you could make, a mere threat should not deter them from doing so, no matter how severe the threat is, unless there is some reason to believe that the threat is credible. And in the case of Anita Sarkeesian, there was no reason to believe that that threat was credible. It was just something that someone issued. And, you know, the biggest evidence that it was just a threat is that typically when people commit these heinous acts of violence and mass murder, they don't issue threats first.
No.
They might write a manifesto that's designed to come out afterwards, but they don't issue this big threat. They don't tell the people that they're going to kill and target, I'm going to be trying to target you. You know why? Because that puts everyone on high alert. You know, it's like if I'm going to kill Ben, I'm not going to tell Ben, like, hey, Ben, just a heads up, man. At some point tonight, I am going to try to murder you.
In that case, I'm going to leave right now.
Right,
and stay
exactly.
away from you.
Yeah, you'd be like, okay, let me just go get a drink real quick, and then you're gone. You know, you hear the car pulling out, and, you know, before you know it, the cops are here to arrest my ass or something.
Yep.
That's why the people who are actually have an intent to follow through typically do not issue threats. I'm sure you could find instances where people issue threats and then did them. But, you know, like Columbine, Sandy Hook, Aurora Theater shooting, none of those people issued threats before they did those things. And there's a very clear-cut reason. You don't want to put people on guard. You want to take them by surprise. You're trying to kill them, for fuck's sake.
Or being made by men because she is a feminist, because she is speaking out. And I am a feminist. If you go look at my videos, you know, I talk a lot about single motherhood, you know, how I feel that it's natural, how I feel that in nature, you don't always have a man, you know, hanging over a woman. You know, I just really, I have my own belief system when it comes to that.
Well, let's talk about nature a little bit then. I mean, I'm not against single moms or something, but if you're going to use nature as an example, then you should probably actually look at the closest relatives to human beings, which are the great apes, the bonobos, the chimpanzees, the orangutans, the gorillas. And with the exception of the orangutans, all of those live in tight-knit social groups that are patriarchal. So just putting that out there.
So I definitely, you know, have an opinion about that, but it's just, because of my opinion, it makes men very angry. And it's ridiculous because as a woman, you know, and as a feminist, you know, I can sit up here and say, you know, well, I don't believe that, you know, every woman should, you know, have to be married in order to be an honest woman, or, you know, every woman should
I agree with that.
Right.
I mean, I'm not sitting here saying opposite. I don't know. If you're going to frame something as a response to me, then don't say these things about your own ideas as though I disagree with them when I clearly don't.
Right. I mean, one thing you could do, here's a word of advice, kind of like what we do. Take one of his fucking videos, play what you don't agree with, and comment on it.
Right, and don't fucking bring all this other shit into it that doesn't that has fuck all to do with anything. And I think we're done with this.
Right. You want to take a quick break?
Let's take a break so I can eat some fucking pizza.
Yep. Pizza break for TJ. We will be right back.
After these messages.
After these messages. We'll be right back.
Fuck it! Fuck it! Suck it! Fuck it! Suck it! Fuck it! Suck it! Fuck it! I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? Suck it! Fuck it! Fucking sucks!
I'm a bisexual. I want to marry a guy and a babe.
I'm thinking about coming out.
And I never had any sex with my parents. I mean, I had oral sex with my father. It lasted about 2 minutes.
To play us out. Fuck it! Fuck it! You got the porn movies.
Why didn't you just shut up?
I'm thinking about oral sex. False. False. False.
I talked to your 3rd grade teacher, Miss Crabtree.
Fuck it! You got the porn movies.
All right, we're back.
No, we're not. You're a liar.
Okay, we're not back. No, we're actually back.
Damn it. Why?
Why? So we're gonna move on. Here's a video.
Moving on.
Here's a video that took place on the New York City subway.
Okay.
Nigga, like, fuck is you talking about, like, nigga?
Hey.
What the fuck is you talking about?
I don't know. What am I talking about?
Fuck up.
That guy's just like, I'm getting out of here.
Like, fuck is you talking about? Stay over there. Yeah. You got a black 8-ball jacket that came out in 1990.
She's like, oh, you got an 8-ball jacket. It came out in 1990. I don't know what she's flipping out about, but she's giving this guy a lot of shit.
Yeah, that guy. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck you, guy with 8-ball jacket came out in 1990. Oh! Piece of garbage.
Bro,
Damn!
That's this one. Just get your money up. Simple. Like, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm just done. Get your money up. All right? Done. All right? You want to know what kind of shoes I got on? I got Steve Adams on. All right?
Nobody wants Steve Adams no more.
What the
Okay, yeah. So now the guy holding the camera starts talking shit.
What do you say?
I don't.
Ain't no button up tie no more.
Yeah, she was like talking about her shoes. I don't know. She was like insulting the guy's clothing and like, look at my shoes. I don't fucking know why that matters.
It does. It's very important.
So now she slapped the camera out of this guy's hand.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Damn, you petty as hell. You can't even afford this phone. Nobody's watching you. What you doing that for?
Wow.
Don't you just want to go on a vacation to New York right now?
I was just thinking, like, man, I'm glad I don't fucking live in New York. I wouldn't even want to be on that subway. I'd just be like, let me off. Just let me off the next stop. Can we just stop now? I'll just walk through the tunnel.
I don't talk when you get mad.
You sound stupid.
Fucking dirty bitch.
You told me?
All right, so she just slapped him in the head. He called her a dirty bitch.
Yeah.
Dirty bitch.
We're misogynists for laughing at that. We're bad people.
A white knight comes along and tries to fight this guy now, too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, she was going around slapping people everywhere. She was slapping the camera out of the guy's hand, talking a bunch of bullshit. I don't know.
But no, no, Ben, you don't understand. She is a woman and she's black. She's got two minorities under her belt there. So she can do as she pleases anywhere at any time. And if anyone tries to make her have repercussions, they're a bad person. It's like the white knight's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, this dude's pretty big. He's like pretty tall. And he's wearing an 8-ball
I think
jacket.
if I was on this subway, I would be in this guy's situation where I'd be like fighting with people.
That makes me want to go to New York with you.
Bring your camera.
Yeah, he's beating the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
That's trying to fight him.
I don't know what that guy was thinking.
I don't know.
I'm going to stand up for the honor of this stupid bitch that's starting shit with everybody. Now they're slapping this guy. The subway is just erupting in chaos.
It's like, what the fuck?
Why? All because this bitch had to talk a bunch of stupid bullshit.
He's got the guy that the white knight guy that came to this woman's aid. The guy that smacked her has him in a chokehold right now.
Yeah. That guy's just like, yeah.
That's the guy that was holding the camera.
He's like, I'm having a good time. Some of the best shit that's ever happened.
Oh shit!
Oh no, that was the guy that was holding the camera. Yeah, the other guy was just like, hey.
That was just some guy that's like, I just want to let everyone know I was part of this moment. Because when this is inevitably a viral YouTube video, people will be like, I like the time that that one dude just jumped in front of the camera like, yeah. Just calm your shit down, bitch. Damn.
Yeah. So that's some crazy shit.
Yeah. A lot of people just wanted to fight, I guess.
Do you think she deserved it?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I mean, if she would have just been running her mouth, that would have been one thing, but she was actually putting her hands on people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean,
when you cross that line, got to expect that.
Yep. So next one, Pat Robertson, one of our favorites here.
Good old senile ass Pat. What's his ass rambling about today? Poke Pat with a stick.
Pat, who says, my daughter's been living with a man for 3 years and has a baby by him. She's told her kids that they're married, but she won't marry him because she's had 2 husbands already. She told me once that it's easier to get forgiveness than permission. I tell her that forgiveness is for when you fall into sin and not for premeditated sin. Who is right?
Isn't all sin, like, doesn't have to be all be premeditated to a certain extent? I mean, I guess that if you're just like intentionally living in what, you know, your version of God considers sinful, then yeah, I guess that God might take issue. I don't know.
Well, according to most forms of Christianity, there's original sin, which isn't even intentional. It's passed on to us by the first human beings, and that's what's automatically damning us to hell, regardless of anything else we do.
Right, so it doesn't even matter. You're just inherently sinful anyway.
What I always wonder,
might as well get your fucking money's worth.
They always say Jesus was sinless, but wasn't he born with original sin too, because he was born a human being?
No, because he was born of a virgin, so that contradicts that somehow.
Me too. I was too.
Yeah, me too.
You're absolutely right on that one. This girl's playing games. I don't know what kind of bringing up she had, but she didn't have a very good one, it doesn't sound like.
I like how he's criticizing the lady that wrote him the letter now. He's like, oh, well, she must have had a bad upbringing, so it's your fault.
Well, was it her mom that was writing the letter?
Right,
or
right.
Her dad or whatever?
It was her mom.
I thought the person was named Mark.
Oh, was it Mark? Oh, yeah, so it was her dad. Yes.
Or, I don't even know. I thought they said there was like a cousin. I don't even remember, but at any rate, yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird to just blame the parents right away anyway. Like, I don't even see anything wrong with what the woman's doing, but if I did, I wouldn't just automatically be like, well, obviously they had a bad upbringing.
Well, she was already married twice. You could understand how she wouldn't want to rush into getting married again.
Didn't want to do that again and be stuck in that same situation where you got to, like, you know, go through the divorce proceedings and all that bullshit.
A couple of marriages already. I mean, she's obviously undisciplined, rebellious. She can't hold a stable relationship, and now she won't enter into one even though she's got a child by this.
She's in a relationship. She just won't marry the person.
Yeah, but he's just saying, like, 2 marriages under her belt already. She obviously can't even maintain a relationship. It's like, well, I mean, some people it takes a few fucking tries. You know what I mean? It's not like... I mean, most people don't fucking get married. I mean, my dad was married like fucking 5 or 6 times in his life, and he fucking, I mean, I guess you could say he couldn't have a stable relationship, but, you know, just because someone has had 2 relationships that didn't work out doesn't mean that every relationship she has is doomed, although I guess she realizes by now the possibility that it might be, which is why she doesn't want to enter into a legal arrangement with this person anyway. But she probably actually, if, in most states, she probably has a common law marriage to this person by this point anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how many states still have that. I know a lot of them do.
I think quite a few still do. I know Louisiana still does. I don't know about Ohio.
I don't think Ohio has one.
This man, and then she's tempting God. I mean, man, she is walking on the edge. You think, well, Linda was taking a chance. I mean, she's really on a tightrope, and she is, I mean, I would certainly pray for her, and I'd warn her because she's asking for it.
What is she tempting God to do? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I mean, in the Bible, Jesus was tempted. So, I mean, if you subscribe to the notion that Jesus was God, you could say God was tempted. But
is he saying that God's like tempted to send her to hell, and he's not really sure? He's kind of on the fence. I mean, what is like, you know, either God disapproves or approves. I mean, how is she tempting God? Like, and even like, but if you're Pat Robertson and you believe in this God horse shit to begin with, like, you think that God already knows what's going to happen and has a plan. So it's not like God's sitting there in suspense, like, oh my me, what's going to happen next?
Oh my me.
Yeah, I mean, like, he knows, right? If you believe in God and he's all knowing and he has a plan for the entire fucking world, then he already knows what's going to happen. He ain't fucking sitting there like wrestling with shit like, oh, what am I going to do about Linda? And even if, I mean, like, wouldn't God, if he even had any concern for the human race, wouldn't he be more worried about, like, man, that dude's raping that child in that house, and over in that other house, that alcoholic's beating his wife to death. But you know what I'm really concerned about at this moment? That bitch who ain't getting married to that guy she's been living with for 3 years. That pisses me right off. I'm tempted to do something. I might. I don't know.
And it's going to be really tough. But don't tell me. It's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. I mean, that's a big joke. Yeah, sure. But not when you're dealing with...
Isn't that the basis of Christianity? I mean, that you ask for you can do shitty stuff if you want, and then if you ask for forgiveness, that kind of negates whatever shitty stuff you did.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it doesn't matter if you wrong your human, your fellow human beings here on Earth, as long as you're right with Jesus. As long as you come to Jesus and sincerely say, Jesus, I'm real sorry about all those people I fucked over and hurt. And Jesus like, don't worry about it, brah. I got you. Just love me.
With the Lord. I mean, sooner or later, God's going to say, that's all she wrote, baby, and it's going to...
I'd like to hear God say that.
That's all she wrote, baby.
I'm surprised he can even form coherent sentences anymore.
Does he? Does he really?
Yeah.
Be tough. All right.
This is a viewer who says, why do people fall out when the Holy Spirit is heavier when it hits them?
What? Fallout. Fallout New Vegas.
Why do people play Fallout when the Holy Spirit is heavy? What do they mean the Holy Spirit is heavy?
I don't know.
There's
it hits them like a fucking anvil or something, and they fall out of a window and die. I don't understand. And this is from viewer. Yeah.
I want to send them some troll questions. See if they get on the air.
Yeah, we need to send them some shit. We just need to use facebook.com/the 700 Club, at 700 Club, and the 700 Club. I don't even know. What does this mean?
I don't know, and that's where the video ends, so we don't get to hear it. But yeah, that's fucking weird.
Okay.
Anyway, though, before we go into the next video, just want to take some time to let everyone know you can support our channel and our show by going to patreon.com/DP. Have a look there. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to go there and become a patron.
Patreon.com/DP.
Everyone who donates $5 a month or more will have access to an exclusive show that no one else will be able to view.
Double penetration.
Yes. All right. We'll move on.
What? Moving on up.
Let's see. What should this guy.
And then I wanted to cover the issue of do atheists just lack a belief in God? Let me just say a few words about this because I don't think it's a very good way to describe atheism. Because if
it's not a good way to describe atheism as a lack of belief in God.
Yeah.
That's the point this guy is about to make.
The definition of atheism is a poor way to describe atheism.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Atheism is merely a lack of belief in God, then atheism is just a claim about the atheist state of mind. It's not a claim about God's existence.
No.
It's basically saying the atheist is saying he's saying I'm psychologically or I'm not psychologically.
Okay, well, by that standard, every claim that anyone makes is just a claim about their own state of mind. It may be to say I don't believe in God. Yes. That means that my mindset is that there is no God, but it's also my opinion about the nature of the universe. It is still a statement of there is no God, or if there is, I've seen no evidence to support his, her, or its existence.
Convinced that God exists. Well, so what? That offers no evidence for or against God. You see, most people lack a belief in unguided evolution. Yet
what evidence could there even be against God? Like, I don't understand. What do you mean evidence against God? Your contention is that there's this all-powerful being that exists beyond the boundaries of nature and time and space, that created the universe and is all-powerful and manipulates world events. And I mean, what piece of evidence could I even produce conceivably against that? There's no way to disprove it. It's just an unfalsifiable hypothesis. It's like if I say that I believe there are leprechauns. How could anyone really disprove leprechauns? The fact that you can't disprove something is not a good enough reason for you to believe in it. That's just the bottom line. And actually, good ideas that actually make sense, could be disproven. Like if I say that water is 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, or whatever it fucking is. It might be the reverse. I think it's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. But if I say that, then there's no one can fucking then come and say, oh, well, you know, this can't be proven or disproven. Of course it can be proven or disproven. We can actually look at that. And if that's wrong, you'll see that it's wrong if you have the proper ways of measuring it. And that's why that's a good idea, because it can be disproven. But the fact that God cannot be disproven just means that it's like any old bullshit that you can make up. I can fly when no one's looking. You know?
Atheists would say that that shows that evolution is false. So this is not it's not a good definition of atheist to say I just lack a belief in God. Another reason that atheism is not just a lack of belief in God is because if you say that's what atheism is, or that's what an atheist is, then rocks, trees, and outhouses are all atheists too.
No.
No, wrong. That's just stupid. They lack a belief in anything because they lack the capacity for belief. And it's kind of just assumed and understood that when we say that there are things that lack a belief in God, we're talking about things that are capable of having beliefs in the first place, which are pretty much exclusively human beings at this point.
Because they lack a belief in God. Look, it doesn't take any brains to lack a belief in something.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I mean, like, it kind of does. Like, if I come to you and say, hey, man, like, well, we'll use the same example I used earlier. I can fly when no one's looking. And he just says, oh, really? That's interesting. I'm fascinated by that. That's it. I mean, I believe you. You know, you would think, wow, this is one gullible, stupid motherfucker. But if you come to people and say, there's a magic man in the sky that created the universe, people are like, oh, wow, yeah. And yes, it does take brains to be the person who looks at that and looks at the fact that the crowd all accepts it and says, you know, guys, I really don't think this makes any sense. And then they burn him at the stake, of course.
A true atheist is someone who believes there is no God. But probably the most important point to make here on this claim that atheists just lack a belief in God is that the atheist is really trying to avoid the burden of proof to say that just a theist has to explain or give evidence for his worldview. The atheist doesn't have to give any evidence.
That's because you're the ones making a claim.
Why do they always say worldview? What the fuck does that even mean, honestly?
Basically, he's trying to make atheism into a positive claim,
right,
so that he can say, well, the burden of proof is on you. It's like, okay, even then it still wouldn't be. The burden of proof would be on both of us if atheism was a positive claim, because we'd both be making positive claims. But atheists are not making a positive claim. We're making a negative claim. And therefore, the fucking burden of proof is on the person making the positive claim. You're saying there is a God. We're saying, I don't believe you. Prove it to me. And if there's an atheist out there that says, I definitively believe absolutely that there is no God, then that atheist I mean, if someone said that, I'd be like, okay, prove there's no God. But no atheist says that. None that I've ever seen, anyway.
Right.
We all say that, you know, I think it's very unlikely there's a God. I find it to be tremendously improbable. And, you know, I certainly don't think that if there even is a God, that it's the God of any religion that currently exists on the face of the earth, because I've seen, you know, literally nothing to support any of those ideas. You know, these are not evidence-based beliefs. These are faith-based beliefs. So, yeah, the burden of proof is on the Christians and the theists and the Muslims and all that.
View.
Well, they're all under the banner
But that's
of
just not so. Why? Because atheists are always trying to give alternatives to the theistic worldview. They try and say, well, maybe the quantum vacuum brought the universe into existence. Of course, that doesn't explain where the quantum vacuum came from. They try and say that evolution has some...
Where did God come from? I love how, you know, they're always allowed to regress back and be like, well, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? But if you ask them, where'd God come from? They're just, oh, God is eternal. It's like, okay, well, why can't the quantum vacuum be eternal? I don't even know what the fucking quantum vacuum is. I've never heard that before. But, you know, assuming that's something that anyone has actually ever said or is a thing, then why can't that be eternal? Or why can't it just be that at some point the universe began? Because, I mean, to me, when you're talking about the beginning, the origins of the universe, it makes a lot more sense to say that it was this single energetic event and that, you know, all of the matter and energy and elements and stuff, they all form gradually over time. That makes a lot more sense to me than to say there was always this complex, cognitively developed thing that had power that created the universe.
Right. And it just existed on its own for an unfathomable amount of time, and then one day decided to just make a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And now it cares whether or not, you know, they have butt sex or not.
Yes, that's theism in a nutshell.
Somehow got rid of the need for a designer to life. They try and say that there are other explanations for things that normally we would say God is required to explain. So they're
Who
trying
is we
to
here? Who is this we that requires God to explain certain things? I mean, doesn't this guy realize that like 2,000 fucking years ago, he could go back and find some like primitive tribe living in the Americas that believe that, you know, there's, you know, the rain gods or something.
Right.
And they do the rain dances and stuff. And he could just be one of them, and he could be sitting there like, you know, atheists think that the rain gods are not real. They think there's a scientific explanation for how the rain comes out of the sky. Well, that can only be explained by the rain gods.
I wonder if his PhD is similar to Kent Hovind's PhD. Like if he went to some like fucking diploma mill. I can't even remember what that place was called.
Probably like Liberty
University. Yeah, it's like a fucking trailer somewhere.
You know, some fucking, you know, one of these schools that's basically like a Christian college. It's just like, yeah, here you go. Here's your PhD, buddy.
Yeah.
come up with positive beliefs that atheistic materialism is the best way to explain reality. In other words, atheists don't lack a belief in materialism. They're not skeptical of materialism. They think that materialism is true. As Philip Johnson once said, he said...
Hold on now. Materialism, there's evidence for materialism. We can see that things are material. You know, I mean, like, all you have to do is actually, like, have any awareness of reality to realize that the universe is constructed of material. It's also constructed of energy. But yeah, there's matter and energy in the universe. We can see that. We can measure that to some extent, anyway.
He who is a skeptic in one set of beliefs is a true believer in another set of belief. Lacking a belief in God doesn't automatically establish materialism, any more than lacking a belief in atheism automatically establishes Christianity. No atheist would say that a Christian has made a good case because he lacks a belief in materialism. You see, everyone has the burden of proof to support his or her position.
What you're saying at this point.
I know. That's
why materialism. I mean, it is. Materialism, I mean, you could conceivably say that's not all there is, but, I mean, there's definitely materialism at work. I mean, what he's talking about is materialism. I mean, he's not talking about, like, the capitalist sense of materialism.
Right. That's normally what I think of when I hear materialism.
I mean, he's talking about, just everything being naturalistic and made of matter and, that shit.
What atheists need to do is they need to make a positive case that only material things exist. They have to make a positive case from a materialistic perspective that everything has been caused by materials and consists only of materials. An atheist...
Well, why? We already know those things are there. So really the burden of proof, once again, is on the person saying, there's more than this. It's like, okay, well, show us where it is. No, you have to prove that there's not. It's like, what do you mean I have to prove there's not? That's like if we fucking, walk all through a house and someone's like, you know what? I think there's a secret room in this house. It's like, oh, well, where is it? I don't know, but it's somewhere. It's like, okay, well, if you find it, let me know. It's like, no, you have to prove it's not there. It's like, what do you mean I have to prove it's not there? You're the one saying it is there.
Even if God exists outside the material world, aren't there examples in the Bible of God coming into our material world and
Yeah, sure.
causing shit to happen. Shouldn't there be some sort of evidence for that?
There is. It's called the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
An atheist that we experience today, the new atheist, they're materialists.
So I love that. Did I get disconnected somehow?
No, you're still there.
Okay. I guess I'm not hearing them through my own headphones, though.
You unplugged
I
them.
just got disconnected from my headphones.
Yeah.
Fuck! Well, I guess I keep talking. But no, I mean, like, atheism, I lost my train of thought because of this shit. Just keep playing something. I'll respond to something else.
To explain from a materialistic viewpoint how the universe came into existence, why it's fine-tuned, where the laws of nature came from, and what are the laws of nature, the laws of logic, the laws of mathematics, information. Where did life come from? Mind and consciousness. How do you explain that from a materialistic perspective?
God of the gaps.
How do you explain free will from a materialistic perspective?
Free will.
How do you explain free will?
There's debate over whether or not there even is free will, first of all.
Right.
And as far as all that other stuff goes, I mean, well, how do you explain the mind? I mean, we have, neuroscience at this point. They've made tremendous strides there. As for some of that other stuff, like what's the origin of life and what's the origin of the laws of physics and all this other stuff, it's like, well, basically you're falling into the God of the gaps trap. Anything that science hasn't explained yet must be God.
What do you say, it's an illusion, like Daniel Dennett? That's what he says. He's a new atheist. He says consciousness is an illusion. Well, if it's an illusion, was he conscious when he wrote the book that said consciousness was an illusion?
Well, in his opinion, probably not.
That's more of a philosophical opinion, though, isn't it? Consciousness is an illusion.
It kind of depends on how you take a view of things. I mean, because in some senses, our sense of self is illusory, but that's probably more what he's referring to as self as an illusion more than consciousness as an illusion. But I mean, once again, that's really almost semantic at some point. It's all a matter of how you define self and the sense of self and the sense of an ongoing conscious narrative that moves through your existence. And I'm sure that if we actually read Daniel Dennett's book, he would explain what he means by consciousness as an illusion. But this guy, of course, is not going to explain it. He's just going to say, Daniel Dennett, they're calling it an illusion. What's up with that? Huh? You think consciousness is an illusion? I don't think consciousness is an illusion. So
he'd have to be super conscious to know that the consciousness we have is just an illusion. Objective morality, where does that come from? How about evil?
Wait, hold on. Objective morality, where does that come from? Well, actually, a lot of atheists do believe in objective morality. We have a fucking Sam Harris, one of the most popular atheists around, wrote an entire book on objective morality. But if you're going to ask where objective morality came from, you have to demonstrate that objective morality fucking exists in the first place, and I'm not convinced. I think morality is subjective. So how are you going to possibly demand an explanation for where objective morality came from when you can't even demonstrate that objective morality is a fucking thing?
Now, it's very rare to find any atheist attempting to explain more than just one or two of the things I just mentioned. How could they? How could laws be material?
Hold on. Whoa, it is not. Literally everything he said, and I've heard refutations and discussions of by Harris and Hitchens and Dennett and people on YouTube like Jacqueline Glenn or Mr. Repsion or me or any number of fucking people. But he's going to sit there and bold-faced lie and say, atheists won't even touch this with a 10-foot fucking pole. Give me a break. He's basically preaching to people stuck in his bubble.
You see, the point is that when an atheist says that he just lacks a belief in God, he doesn't really just lack a belief in God. He is saying positive things about the world. He's saying everything's made of materials. Well, give me evidence that everything's made of materials. And how could you?
Well, show me something that's not made of materials, and I'll be like, well, okay, I guess I was wrong. Show me everything's made of materials. Like how? I'm just supposed to give you a guided tour of the entire universe in a desperate search for something that isn't materials so that you can have your little aha moment. Until we find something that isn't material, let's just assume that everything is fucking material. That seems pretty reasonable to me. I mean, is it conceivable that there's something out there beyond the material? Of course it is. But we don't just believe in something because it could be.
Evidence that everything's made of materials, because any evidence you bring forth isn't material itself. Any thought you have isn't material itself. And if it is just
Thoughts
material
are
itself, why?
You have these things called neurons and neural transmitters and shit, and they're firing off electrical impulses and chemical signals to one another, and there's literally tens of billions of them in your head in this, you know, giant network that creates your consciousness and creates your thought process. So there's actually physical and energetic things that are happening in here.
Neuroscience.
Right. So why don't you crack open a fucking basic neuroscience book? There's plenty of them written for laymen. Oh, I'm sorry. You're actually a PhD. So.
Yeah. He should.
Yeah.
You know, he's an academic, apparently.
Yeah. He's truly, he fucking straddles the highest tower of academia.
Why should we believe it? If every thought you have is the result of a previous natural cause over which you have no control, then why should anyone believe anything you say as an atheist?
What is that, huh?
You see, atheism ultimately is self-defeating.
Okay.
Materialistic atheism.
Materialistic atheism, that's a category I've never heard before.
Me neither, but...
Is there
anti-materialistic atheism?
Yeah. I don't even know
I don't know. It's just... This guy isn't even addressing actual atheism as it exists. He's basically created his own false vision of atheism and is attempting like mad to shift the burden of proof onto them, even though it so clearly does not belong there. They're not the ones making the fucking claims, but whatever.
There's no way to know atheism is true if it really is true. Because if atheism is really true, then we're not really reasoning anyway. We're just reacting. We're not really...
That's debatable, highly debatable. Just because there's perhaps no free will, and honestly, the free will question has never been of tremendous interest to me because it's either there or it's not. And whether or not we have free will or not, there is the illusion that we do, and it's so... instinctual and pervasive that it doesn't matter if it's not real. We're never going to, there's never going to come a point where like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't have any choice in anything, so I'll just, surrender to fate or whatever. But just because the processes of your brain can be explained physically, and just because your mind is generated by physical processes doesn't mean that you're incapable of reasoning. It doesn't mean that reason isn't a real thing. It doesn't mean that you can't conceptualize, because obviously we can conceptualize. Just as I'm conceptualizing and you're conceptualizing, and we're all perpetually conceptualizing.
All right. On that note, I think we'll move on to the next one here.
Sure.
Kirk Cameron on Fox News. It's like the perfect storm.
Whee!
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun now.
Largest school district is under scrutiny today after its school board voted to strip all religious holidays from the New Year's school calendar. That includes Easter, it includes Christmas, and even Yom Kippur.
Well, the controversial decision comes after Muslim leaders in that community asked that equal recognition be given to at least one Muslim holy day. But was this the right way for the board to respond, to remove all the holidays from the calendar?
So basically, they removed religious holidays from the calendar because they didn't want to just put a Muslim holiday on the calendar.
Right. It was. We don't even want to do one Muslim holiday. We'll just get rid of all of them.
We'll just get rid of every holiday that's religious. How about that? It's like, okay. I mean, I guess maybe it wasn't just hatred of Muslims or fear of Muslims. Maybe it was fear that every fucking religious group that exists out there, no matter how obscure, would be like, how come fucking, pagan bloodletting day isn't on the calendar or some shit.
Well, we're glad to have with us this morning Director Kirk Cameron joining us
I'm
on
real
the couch.
glad.
Good morning, Kirk.
It's fucking Kirk Cameron and
Kirk
Tucker
Carlson in the same fucking place. Oh, get the vomit bucket ready.
Yeah.
Hey, great to see you guys.
This has got to be a little awkward. She revealed earlier that in 4th grade, you were it for her.
Oh, yeah.
And she meant it, clearly.
I had all those pop magazines and your picture all over my bedroom.
It was the early 80s.
I used to touch my little pussy to it.
hey, is that Megyn Kelly or is that I don't know. They all fucking look alike.
No, that's not Megyn Kelly.
I know.
But that is one of her clones, though.
Right, right. They all have blonde hair. They're all white girls with blonde hair, and none of them can wear pants.
Well, it's just Fox signaling to us that this is the perfect Aryan race. So.
Seaver fever that was just sort of making its way around the nation.
That's right. That's right. Growing pains.
Great to meet you.
Watched it. Nice to meet you too. I'm proud of you for all that you do.
Thank you.
So what do you make of this?
Likewise.
The Montgomery County, Maryland decision.
Well, I mean, look, it's Washington, D.C. I mean, we already knew that this had a reputation of being godless, and so I think it makes sense to most Americans that if they're going to take Christmas off the calendar, well, if the Grinch showed up actually in a city, it would probably be that city.
Okay.
If the Grinch showed up.
If the Grinch showed up in a city, it would be that city.
So does he believe in the Grinch, too?
I think there's more evidence to support the existence of the Grinch than God. You're a mean one.
Well, there's a book about it.
Mr. Grinch. Yeah, who's to say the Bible is the truth? I think the Grinch who stole Christmas is the truth.
Yeah, maybe God was speaking through Dr. Seuss.
That would explain it.
Right.
You know, but
no question about it.
But in the heartland, we still celebrate Christmas with our kids. You know, in the flyover country, we give them presents and we say Merry Christmas.
Yeah. The majority
so
of Americans do. So what do you think about the minority affecting the majority?
Well, we're talking about education,
I hate when that
and I think
happens.
the problem is that...
You know what that reminds me of? I remember one time there was this thing. Fuck. Keeps coming undone. One time there was this minority that affected the majority. There was this thing in the South called segregation. And the white people all just wanted to have... you know, this separate but equal thing, but these fucking uppity black people, wouldn't you know it? They're like, we want to use the same drinking fountains and restrooms and businesses as you.
Oh, wait, they already let them stop being slaves. What
right.
more,
what more do those fucking goddamn darkies want, right?
Right.
And that minority ended up imposing its will on the majority, and that is so wrong.
Right. Yeah, then next thing you know, they wanted to vote and marry people of other races.
Ugh. Disgusting.
Yep.
And now even the homos are trying to marry.
Right.
Education
Gross.
is inherently religious. What is an education that doesn't address ultimate questions like who are we? Why are we here? What's the meaning of life? And so if you try to pull religion or...
Stop. So all education is ultimately religious because you can't, apparently you can't address those questions without invoking God. So basically science and secular philosophy, none of that even exists in the mind of Kirk Cameron. The only thing that can even begin to address those questions is, God done it!
Faith out of schools, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Mm-hmm. And that's why my wife and I have actually provided a kind of education for our kids that Christmas cannot be removed from. And so private education ultimately is the consistent way to carry out a worldview and to give everyone equal opportunity to raise their kids
out of the government system
the way that they want to.
Okay, so you won't find Christmas on that particular school district's calendar.
It's a fucking calendar. Who cares? Honestly, is Groundhog Day on the calendar? Or are they just talking about holidays that...
They said just religious holidays, I think they said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
So Groundhog Day... probably not anyone's article of faith, but...
They have faith that the groundhog can predict the fucking weather.
That's true, so take that off, too.
Yep.
Let Bill Murray go.
Punxsutawney Phil.
However, you will find it. Kirk Cameron is saving Christmas, put Christ back in Christmas, because you got a new movie that's coming out, and I love it.
Oh, that's the real reason he's on here.
Right, to promote this stupid bullshit.
Yeah, it's another Christian movie.
The Fight for Faith.
The story because
the quest to save Christmas.
Yep.
Wow.
Your sister, real sister, her husband, stick in the mud when it comes to Christmas.
Yeah, he's one of these guys that wants Christmas to be great, but he can't have a good time at his own wife's Christmas party because, well, he's kind of got a religious wedgie. right? I mean, he's just got his religious belt on a little too tight, and he's so legalistic about everything having to be just the way it's supposed to be that he can't see that presents and a big tree and stockings and all the food and the music actually can be pointing us to the reason for the season. He thinks it's all distracting and getting in the way.
So he's saying that his brother-in-law is too religious to enjoy Christmas.
Yeah, he's just like, I love Jesus so much, I don't even want all this other shit distracted from it.
Sounds like a fucking party and a half hanging out with him and his family.
It's pretty bad when Kirk Cameron is like, he's a religious stick in the mud.
Yeah. He has a religious wedgie.
He's got his religious belt on too tight. He takes this Jesus shit too seriously.
And so my
too
job,
much commercialism.
Too much commercialism, and then there's all the paganism, and then there's all of the secularism. And my job is to say, hey, bro, and grab him by his Christmas sweater and say, you're ruining the party for your whole family. You're listening to the wrong people who are wrecking Christmas. You need to go back in there, apologize to your wife, and save Christmas for your kids.
And when can we see this movie? When's it in theaters?
This weekend.
Yeah, when can we see it? Wow, this weekend. That's great. Next story.
Next story is about virtual rape.
Good.
It's a frightening and disgusting trend in the world of online gaming. Hackers rewriting code to simulate sexual assault. Shauna Hunt is live with the disturbing reality of virtual rape. Shauna.
Well, Roger, in the world of gaming, modifying characters is actually a common thing, but these cases are extreme. These hackers, they're taking control of games being played online, and they're staging these violent attacks, and the scenes are so disturbing, we had to blur the images.
Good. Let's see it.
Wait till you see them.
Online, they can take your character, lock them in place, have made their character pantsless, and then can simulate sexual assault with your character, and you are helpless to stop it.
The graphics are so good.
Oh my God. Oh, this is a serious problem.
Yeah, it's so fucking disgusting,
this is,
right?
Oh, wow. Whoever did this should just be locked in jail for the rest of their life.
One time when I was playing Star Trek Online, someone was following me around trying to hump me in the game, and I just kind of laughed it off like, what the fuck ever.
No, Ben, you were assaulted, buddy. Do you need to call the Rape Crisis Center?
I think I do, now that I think about it.
Yeah, you need to call them right after the show tonight and let them know that you were fucking virtual raped in Star Trek Online.
This attack is eerily realistic, but this is
eerily realistic? How the fuck is that eerily realistic? That's not eerily realistic.
Rewriting codes and hijacking online video games like Zombie Apocalypse and Grand Theft Auto. The vile scenes are then posted to YouTube.
He shoot him in the crotch.
Oh, this is horrible. Think of the children. Think of the children.
Does it even fucking really matter that they blurred out that little bit right there? Honestly?
No.
I mean, you can...
Americans are stupid.
I know. It's like they bleep out words on TV that, you know, there's no secret what word they said.
Right, and every single person there knows, like, oh, well, they just bleeped out the word fuck or the word shit.
I do think this is a report out of Canada, though, but whatever.
Well, fuck Canada, too.
That's deplorable and should not be allowed anywhere. Like, they should be banned off the servers immediately.
And Sam Meggs, an avid gamer and blogger, tells me in some cases these hackers, also known as modders for modifying the game, will talk to victims on their headsets during the attacks.
When you can hear the person on the other end who's saying these things directly to you and they're saying them directly to you, that's a whole other level of harassment, really.
We all know many video games are known for their violence. In Grand Theft Auto, for instance, players carry knives and guns and they get away with looting and murder. But the sexual brutality...
That is horrible.
Now popping up online has the attention of Toronto police.
It is certainly something that we would be
finally,
you know, interested in hearing about if people.
A boot.
I knew you were gonna do it when you said it. You know,
and I love how Canadians are like, we don't talk like that.
Yeah. We were just talking about that the other day. Every Canadian I've met swears they don't have an accent.
A boot.
And that's okay. I mean, accents are accents. Usually, you know, when you live in a different place, you may speak a little differently.
Nah, it's bullshit. Every way but talking but mine is fucking horrible.
experienced it.
In this scene, a dog has been modified to do disturbing things, and Detective Sean Marshall, who
It's not a real dog. If it was a real dog, I'd probably have a problem with it.
Wow. So in an imaginary world, fucking fictional characters have been modded to do things that some people don't approve of.
And this is a high-ranking police officer taking this shit seriously.
He's sitting there like, wow, I see that they made the dog hump the air right there. Wow, that's horrible. Whoever did this just needs to be locked up for life.
Cybercrimes tells me this new trend is hard to label. Are there charges that could come along with this?
We do investigate cases where people are being bullied online or being extorted online. So
extortion is a real crime.
Yeah.
You know,
virtual rape is just silly. That's like a nuisance that is not a criminal matter at all. On
yeah,
any
I think other matters need more attention.
Those things the police
that's
will
just what a
absolutely
misogynist
investigate.
would
When it
say,
comes to
Ben.
something like this, we could investigate it. It gets very difficult.
Police say in these virtual rapes, harassment would be hard to prove, and tracking down the invisible hacker could be next to impossible.
It depends on where the person is that's actually doing it, because they could be anywhere in the world.
Right, and they wouldn't be able to enforce some sort of strange...
No, I think we need to spend a lot of time and resources on this problem, Ben.
Yep.
Because if we let this go on, then, apocalypse, fucking, everyone's dead.
Sam Meggs stopped playing online over a year ago because of what she calls a misogynistic mentality that already exists in the world of gaming. And she says these new rape scenes only illuminate that.
It's violating, it's triggering for people who have survived assault in the past. It's a visual representation of all that terrible verbal stuff that you get as a woman online.
Pretty much any game that you can play online can also be hacked and modified, so we're taking a look at some of the ways that parents can keep their kids from being targeted in their virtual...
Is this really a law enforcement issue? I mean...
No.
If you don't like it, either don't play the game or complain to the game developer, at the very least. Don't try to get the cops involved. They're not going to be able to do anything.
No, Ben. These people are the scum of the earth, and they just need to be stopped at all costs.
Virtual world.
This
If
might
you know what
trigger
you're
someone, Ben. This might trigger someone. Don't you understand the importance of triggering?
I don't know. Explain it to me, and do it in your feminist voice, please.
Well, Ben. Someone could see that happening online and be reminded of the time they were raped. And then once they see someone getting raped, if they're raped online, it's going to feel like they're being raped in real life because it is a rape, because that character represents themselves. And if they see that character violated, they themselves are being violated. And that triggers them, and that could destroy their fragile psyche. So whoever's doing this needs to be put away, they need to be destroyed, they need to be castrated. And their balls need to be hung in the public square so that women can spit on them.
Sounds perfectly logical to me.
It is logical, Ben.
You can kind of get into the back files of any video game.
These realistic virtual rapes have mainly been happening in...
There's nothing realistic about them.
Everything they've shown, none of it has been realistic.
What's up with the floating cone?
I don't know.
I don't understand that. Does that happen in real rape? When someone's getting raped, is there like an orange cone?
One of the
floating
little
over them?
known facts about rape: if you actually rape someone, an orange traffic cone will begin floating over the rape site.
Oh, shit.
It's just one of those unexplained natural phenomena.
Grand Theft Auto, but hackers modifying characters and creating these disturbing scenes can...
Is that even a hacker thing where you can shoot the guy in the crotch, honestly? I mean...
I don't know. I'm not even sure. I don't
and
even
that's
know.
not rape. That's just
Yeah, like,
shooting
what does that
someone
even
in the
have to do
crotch.
with it? It's like, yeah, you're getting shot in the dick. That's not anyone's definition of rape.
Hijack any game if it's played online, putting all gamers at risk, including kids.
Well, that's kind of terrifying, I guess.
Ahmed.
He sounded really concerned. He's like, I guess that's kind of terrifying, I
Well,
guess.
that's kind of terrifying, I guess. After they sat there like, what do you think about the fact that your online characters could be raped in the ass?
And, yeah, I guess I'll have to keep a closer eye on it.
24-year-old Ahmed keeps tabs on his younger brother's gaming life. Abraham is just 12 years old.
That's why I don't give him a headset when he's playing online. I usually always mute the outside world. It's mostly just him playing his game itself.
And while the only way to avoid becoming the victim of a violent modification is to stay off the internet, gaming expert Sarah Drew tells me there
This
are
is really
guards
still
that
happening,
parents can
like,
use.
going on. Like, this is usually the kind of story that lasts for like a minute or two and then it's just done. But this is just droning on and on and on. Like, this is some fucking serious issue that anyone should be fucking concerned about.
Must have been a slow news day.
I don't know, man.
To ensure their child's online experience is as safe as possible, and it starts with your choice of console.
So because the Sony PlayStation is free online to play, they don't have many privacy controls, whereas the Xbox Live...
These people are working for Microsoft.
That
I knew it.
Microsoft planted this whole story.
Console master race.
Community, they really have a lot that you can do as a parent, whether that be going in and putting a code on, or monitoring the friends, or just simply, blocking communications and muting people online so they can't speak to you.
And parents are also being encouraged to pick up a controller and learn the games that your kids are playing and keep consoles and computers.
Microsoft also wants to let you know that parents can also play games too and buy more games.
Oh, Microsoft.
In a family room where there's the most supervision.
Yeah. Saw some familiar places that I've been to in this report, ironically enough. Like, it kind of looked like Queen Street West. All right, so next one. 12 women die after forced sterilization surgery.
Okay.
Real misogyny, not video game misogyny.
No, this is the story that no one should care about.
Right.
Don't worry about this, everybody.
Arriving, more than 120 women hospitalized. Some in critical condition. 13 have died after having their fallopian tubes tied in a government-organized mass sterilization drive.
Yeah.
A government-organized mass sterilization drive.
Focus on Bayonetta instead.
Yeah, that's what's really important.
Right.
But these hackers are modding characters to fuck you in the butt in the virtual world, so don't even worry about this.
Yeah. Government-mandated mass sterilization of women.
That's not what's really important. Anita Sarkeesian's got the real fucking scoop, buddy.
This is where it happened, an abandoned government building. A temporary camp was set up in this government hospital, which has been vacant for the past 7 months. The caretaker here says a sterilization drive used to be held here in this room twice a month. But as you can see, it's been sealed off by the government because an investigation is now underway. Dr. R.K. Gupta was arrested.
I don't even know. What is the why? I don't even get why this happens or what the thought behind it is. Like, we need to sterilize these women and stat. What for? To what end? What does this even do?
I don't know if it's for population control or that's what it kind of seems like.
Wow.
Or maybe because I believe this is in India.
Yeah, it said it was India.
Right. And they still have a social class system like untouchable class and that sort of thing.
Let's sterilize the poor people.
Yeah, something like that.
Today on charges of negligence and attempted culpable homicide in the deaths of a dozen women who had undergone sterilization operations. Investigators say he operated on 83 women in 6 hours. The procedure was free, and the government even offered $23 as an incentive, a little more than a week's salary for some in this part of the country. Families here in Amshena village in Chhattisgarh state, India are outraged and grieving. 3 women volunteered for the procedure. 2 of them died. My wife had severe pain and started vomiting the day after the surgery. I took her to the hospital. She died half an hour later. It's very difficult for me, he says. I have 3 very young children. Investigators believe the antibiotics and painkillers distributed at the sterilization camp may have been tainted. Today, they raided a pharmaceutical plant that supplied the medicines.
This is a medical negligence in the sense that 83 numbers of operations in a short duration.
Okay. I still don't understand what the fuck this even happened for, though.
It is population control.
Okay.
India is the second most populated country in the world, and both China
Wouldn't it-
and India, they are large countries compared to other ones, but they're kind of running out of room.
But I mean, like, wouldn't it make more sense to do vasectomies if you were going to do that? Because I mean, isn't that easier? I thought that was easier.
Right, but this is real misogyny here.
Right, of course. And no one should just like be forced to have a surgical procedure of any kind anyway, regardless of their gender. But I don't know.
So I think the whole norms and procedure and the standards of doing all these operations, I think those were violated.
Hygiene levels in the camp and the quality of the equipment used is also being questioned and confiscated by police as they await the results of the autopsy reports.
So obviously they didn't really give a fuck about the people they were sterilizing.
Yeah, it's just like, next.
Yeah. Oh, that one died. Oh, try not to do that again.
Wow. So, I don't know. India's fucked up.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy that people here in the Western world are focusing on video games and, media in general rather than things like this happening.
I think we should just send Anita Sarkeesian's ass over here. And then she can come back with a new perspective and realize what a fucking twit she is.
Exactly. Oh,
and check your privilege, bitch.
The whole New York catcalling video has spawned several parodies, and apparently this guy in a wheelchair kind of made something similar.
Okay.
He's a little person in a wheelchair.
For Andrea Arruda, negotiating the streets and traffic can be tricky. But sometimes the physical impediments are not the hardest to handle.
Can you tie my shoes, man?
They said, Mini-Me, can you tie my shoes?
Man.
This video posted recently
Hey, yo, leprechaun.
Yeah.
online shows Arruda enduring dozens of comments, stares, and insults.
Hey, Mini-Me. This one time at the supermarket, this parent just grabbed this kid and went, "Look at this guy," and just paraded me like I'm some kind of circus act.
Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing?
His inspiration was this anti-harassment video shot in New York. Actress Shoshana Roberts endures catcalls and unwanted attention just by walking down the street.
This type of harassment is out there. It's not just geared towards women. It's geared towards so many people who just are perceived different.
Oh my God! There's a half-man over there! And he's gonna bite my ankle and turn me into a werewolf!
So apparently he's a stand-up comedian, too.
Looks like he's a sit-down comedian.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He was born with a genetic disorder called Morquio syndrome. As a comedian, he's learned to laugh off the insults.
I think of the two,
More than hurt feelings, Arruda hopes the video will raise awareness of the physical barriers he faces every day.
it's silent discrimination is what I call the steps right here.
Something like this.
Yeah. This right here. It just seems like it can be easily fixed, right?
Longtime accessibility advocate David Lepofsky says the problem lies in how people with disabilities are perceived.
You want to be able to walk into a job interview with your head held high, not having to face the kind of hurtful remarks that the individual shown in the story had to experience.
Arruda has this message for those who feel uncomfortable around him.
Relax. Just because it's someone you haven't seen before doesn't mean they're not real.
Shut up, midget.
I wouldn't understand why anyone would feel uncomfortable around him.
Yeah, me neither. But I mean, like, it didn't even really seem like people were really feeling uncomfortable anyway. It seemed like they were just kind of making fun of him.
Right.
It's like, hey, Mini-Me.
Yeah.
I bet you, I mean, like, it seemed like that happened just like twice just in the course of the video. So you must get that shit like constantly.
Fuck yeah, he does.
I used to fucking people do that shit when you're tall though too. Like people be like, "Damn, how tall are you?" Just like walk up to you. I was one guy. You never figure out who the fuck it was, but every day in school, after like be walking from one class to another, and there would always be one dude that would shout, "Yo, giant! Yo, giant!" And I would never fucking. I'd look, and he was already gone. So I never even figured out who the fuck was doing that. But yeah, I mean, like,
I bet you got people to try and talk you into playing sports, too.
Oh yeah, all the fucking time.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you play basketball? Dude, you play football? No.
Did you ever have like coaches come up to you and try to get you to play?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially football.
Yeah, I mean, like in high school, if you're like twice the size of most other people, you could easily run people over on the football field.
I guess that was the thinking.
Yeah.
But I had no interest in doing it.
Right. All right. So we'll do another news story and then we'll move on to the commercial segments.
Okay.
All right. So here's another cops killing people story. It's been a little while since we've done one of these.
Oh, well, let's get back into that.
Now that there hasn't been any, I just decided to not do them because
we just decided, like, let's take a break.
How is it news when it happens at least once a week?
The daily shooting.
The family of slain hostage Misty Holtzing says they need answers. Holtzing was killed in a gun battle between police and 3 suspected bank robbers.
So the police didn't intentionally kill her, but she was a bystander, and it was the police fire that took her out.
Okay.
Today, the family's attorney spoke out about the police department's actions. As KCRA3's Melinda Meza reports, the family still has some pressing questions more than 3 months following the deadly crime.
At least 33 officers fired at least 600 bullets in a vehicle.
Okay, aren't these motherfuckers trained on how to carry a firearm and use it?
Apparently, the training went out the window.
Or is it just like the more shots you fire, the more likely you are to hit something? Is it just like they're playing the odds at this point?
I guess so.
With full knowledge that Misty Singh was inside the vehicle.
Greg Bentley is the attorney for the
That's
family of
understandable,
Misty.
though. You know, I'm sure they thought none of those 600 bullets would hit the innocent bystander.
Holtzing. Holtzing was killed after she was taken hostage at the Bank of the West 3 months ago, July 16th.
According to Chief Jones, at least 10 bullets struck Misty, killing her. And all 10 of those bullets were fired by police officers.
So she was taken hostage, and in an attempt to...
I think the police are, you know what, the police are just trying to send the message, don't take hostages.
Don't be a hostage.
No. Well, they're just letting the criminals out there know that even if you do take a hostage, we'll just kill the hostage. We have no problem doing that. So, you know, I think this is actually going to save lives in the long run because these criminals will realize that a hostage is not going to protect them.
They are just trying to keep us safe.
You know, you got to look at the bigger picture here. You know, this is a tragic event, but the police are sending a clear message to criminals that, you know, you can't hide behind a hostage because we will shoot right through that bitch.
Bentley says this will be a difficult time for the family for the rest of their lives. Holtzing's husband, Paul Singh, says it's difficult for their 12-year-old daughter and 19-year-old son.
We continue to live the nightmare. It's the pain is still there.
Today, the family's attorney said there has been 6 robberies at that Bank of the West. The bank was planning on closing its doors 2 days later.
What steps the bank took to investigate why this particular branch was getting hit so often. What steps did the bank take to notify the customers, including Misty, that would come into the bank expecting to be safe, expecting to deposit or withdraw money, and not expecting a bank robbery to occur.
Bentley says he still has a lot of questions for the Stockton Police Department.
With the helicopter in the air, standard pursuit protocol calls for the officers to terminate the pursuit, to pull back, to follow at a distance, to allow the helicopter to identify and follow the vehicle. You do not riddle a vehicle with 600 shots by 33 people, knowing there's an innocent person inside.
In Stockton.
Why the fuck not? Give me one good reason not to do that. Come on. The police are just trying to do their job and stop criminals.
You know there's going to be comments like that.
If a few innocent people just happen to get in the way, that's tragic, but you know that we just, as Americans, we have to accept that.
Right. It's not their job to protect people. It's their job to kill criminals.
Don't you understand?
Right.
Melinda Meza, KCRA 3 News.
Right.
I think the cops are in the right, dude.
Right. And what do you think, Scotty?
You're gonna hit your knees quicker than a priest. when he's praying. You're the poster child for the birth control pill. You go down quicker than a hoe for a $5 bill. I'm the real Superman. You ain't nothing but Clark Kent. I go for 4 quarters, your halftime, like 50 Cent.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, Cena Scotty.
I don't like Cena Scotty.
Yeah, he's kind of a
He
jerk.
doesn't make any sense.
I still like him better than John Cena.
Mm.
All right. So, do you want to take a break before we go into commercials, or?
Nah, let's just do the commercials.
All right. So, before we go into the commercial segment, one more reminder, patreon.com/DP to support the show. Also, all of our content that we play, for the most part, is suggested to us by our viewers. And if you'd like to send something to us, whether that be a question, a news story, any type of craziness out there, feel free to go to our facebook.com/Drunken Peasants. Send us your video, link it to us. We may use it on the show if it's good. You can also follow us on Twitter @Drunken Peasants. The only thing we really ask is no music, no copyrighted material, because we won't play it.
Yeah, we will.
All right, so here's our first commercial. This one's awesome. I like it a lot.
Are you ready for the Pro Glide Challenge? Are you ready for the Pro Glide Challenge? I said, are you ready for the Pro Glide Challenge?
There's no way in fucking hell he could rip a door off the hinges. Just want to say that.
Well, he just did, Ben. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the Pro Glide Challenge?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Do you realize what would happen if I was in a men's room and John Cena came walking up to me?
You'd suck his cock?
Yeah. How did you know?
I don't know. I just had an instinct.
Well, that would be like if he was sitting in the stall next to me and he started tapping my foot.
All right, I'm ready.
Are you ready for the Pro Glide Challenge?
All right, baby.
Then prove it. Get some shaving cream on your face. Go, go, go. I'm ready for the Pro Glide Challenge.
I'm ready for the Pro Glide Challenge.
Why? Why are you ready?
Because you'll beat me up?
No. Reach out and grab it. With authority.
Reach out and grab it.
Grab it with authority. Like you. There you go.
I feel great, John Cena.
With authority.
Smooth, clean cut. You feel great?
I feel great.
You feel good?
I feel good.
I am ready to take the Pro Glide Challenge!
He is ready.
Ready!
Take the fusion.
Okay.
So that's horrible.
Yeah, it's one of the worst fucking commercials I've ever seen in my life.
And not even just because Cena's in it.
Right.
But, yeah, that's a big factor.
I don't understand.
But
like,
that would be annoying with anybody.
As a spokesperson, him just being like, are you ready for the challenge? I don't get it. I don't fucking understand.
Well, they're taking the challenge. The Pro Glide Challenge.
What does that mean? Like, they shave their face? Is that challenging?
Yeah, it's a challenge, man.
Okay.
It's like a fucking one of the fucking trials and shit.
Okay.
I don't know. That's like, you know, you got to slay the dragon, you got to save the princess, and you got to shave your face with Pro Glide.
Could I just cut Cena with the razor instead?
You could if you wanted to.
Yeah. All right. So, next ad. This is the most effective condom ad.
Be sure to take that banner down.
Okay.
I don't even know. They might still see.
Yeah.
See it.
Here we go.
Yeah. It would be. Well, I'll say this in a minute. Just keep playing it.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to say that it must have been fun as fuck to be the kid in this commercial.
Right.
Though. Like, just tell a kid, like, just go crazy and fucking throw a huge tantrum and throw shit everywhere and knock things over. Yeah.
Right. Earlier, I was when TJ and I were watching this before we went on the air. I said this should be a vasectomy commercial.
It could be either,
because it makes me never want to reproduce. And it's weird because, you know, our condom commercials here are more geared towards, you know, not really contraception as much as protection from diseases.
Yeah. Because in America, children is a blessing.
Yep.
Everybody loves the children.
Next video is interesting because of how nonchalant the man presenting this product is.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Sugar.
Yep.
Sweeten up your sex life.
Yep.
Okay. Sure.
These are some great products.
Hey, we are here to answer some questions and show a side-by-side comparison of two of our Fuck Me Silly Mega Masturbators.
fuck me silly mega masturbators.
Wouldn't so people have sex with these, right? So
it's like fucking a dismembered corpse.
Yeah, like wouldn't you just I mean like maybe some people are into that. I mean, I could see that, I guess, but you know, like presumably this is not marketed towards people who want to fuck dismembered corpses. I guess that there's just some people out there who's like, you know what? Just an ass and a pussy, that's enough for me. I don't need any more than that. Just let me fuck a big
piece of rubber?
Yeah, like you know, why don't you just fuck an old tire on the side of the road or something?
Here we have the Fuck Me Silly 1, the original that started the entire line, and then the new black version of it, Fuck My Big Black Ass.
What a creative name. How long do you think it took to come up with that?
What do you think we should call this one? How about Fuck My Big Black Ass? Oh yeah, that's good.
This is the line of Fuck Me Silly Mega Masturbators. And this is
that's the original. That's the one that started it all.
It's the pioneer.
Wow. Yeah, that's like the Columbus of fake asses that you can have sex with if you are so inclined.
People are wondering if these are the same mold or if there's any differences to them, and the answer is no. The only difference in these is the color of the Fanta Flesh.
Well, how come the white one's not called Fuck My Big White Ass then?
I don't know. Both asses are clearly the same size.
Right, you know, so what's with the racist name for the black one?
Which mimics real skin. Aside from that, they're the same mold.
It does not look like it's mimicking
the
real
same
skin
internally
to me.
and externally. Some of the other frequently asked questions that we get all the time is, do the tunnels connect inside the way they do on Fuck Me Silly 2? And the answer is no. The tunnels don't connect and drain out to the back. On this one, about 9 inches in, the tunnel connects like a U shape.
Well, what if you're longer than 9 inches?
Right. Discrimination against giant cocks.
You know, geez. You know, if buyer beware, if you got a fucking foot long cock, you cannot.
You're giving up 3 inches there.
Yeah, you know, you're gonna have 3 lonely inches still hanging out.
But if you have a 2 foot long U-shaped cock.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then you can actually penetrate one hole and come out the other.
Right.
So that's pretty neat. But then you just end up shooting cum all over yourself, which I guess is the same as just masturbating.
Right.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's wrong with using, you know, like...
Your hand?
Yeah, like what's wrong with just like leaning back and like getting a visual in your mind, or, you know, just sitting in front of a computer screen and looking at some internet porn or whatever you do, and just using your hand to stroke your cock? Because that might simulate flesh, but this actually is flesh. And you can touch yourself exactly the way you want to. There's never going to be some other product that touches your dick better than you can. It's just not going to happen.
When you wash this out, you want to make sure you flush it out completely when you put the water in.
And it
one
requires
hole,
maintenance.
Right.
Water and the debris will come out the other.
Debris.
It doesn't matter which
That's
hole
an
you
interesting
flush, they're
euphemism.
both the same. Just know that it's going to come out that other hole and not the back side of the piece. It's jiggly like a real woman's butt.
He is really nonchalant.
Yeah.
Like, it's jiggly like a real woman's butt. I have no sex drive, honestly, folks. I don't even
It's
care.
ample, it's big, you can really grab onto it. You can position it, move it around.
Look at it. It's like, oh my God.
You know, the sad thing is there's people in our audience right now like, I'll take one of those.
Yep. Actually, I saw a few comments in the chat room saying,
like,
sold.
yeah, sold. Gimme. How much?
Do different positions in the bedroom. Hell, you can go at it with a friend.
Okay.
I like how he says, hell.
You can go at it with a friend if you want to. yeah, hey Ben, you want to order one of these?
I was just thinking that.
And fuck it together. You take the pussy, I'll take the ass, man.
Sure.
You know, why not? You know,
we could switch it up too.
Yeah, we could. Just, we get sick of one, turn around. We get sick of the white one, we'll fuck the black one. You know, we need a little bonding time together. You know, just fuck a big fake rubber ass
that we
together.
Get all the time are the tunnels ribbed? And yes, inside here there are some ribs for added sensation in the
okay
vagina opening. The anal opening is smooth on that side of the tunnel. Another thing that people want to know is this waterproof? Can you submerge it in water? And the answer is no. Fuck Me Silly 1 and Fuck My Big Black Ass are not waterproof. On the back side of the piece,
it's not a pool
there's
toy,
an air
folks.
hole. There's a foam core inside of this to make it light enough to move around. As it is, it's a really heavy, weighty piece. So if you submerge this in water, it's going to get to that foam core. This allows air to escape so that when you're really putting your weight on it, it doesn't pop.
Okay.
It's for your safety and enjoyment of the product.
For our safety.
Right.
For your safety, do not fuck this in a swimming pool or a bathtub.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next one?
Sure.
This is a product called Easy Find. The letter E and Z.
Easy Find.
I can't find my keys.
I can't find my Game Boy.
I can't find the remote.
This is some great fucking acting.
It is great.
When you're running late and you can't find your keys, and the TV remote has vanished in the breeze, there's no cause to panic because help's on the way.
There's no cause to panic because help is on the way.
Help is on the way.
Easy Find it, and you'll save the day.
I found it.
What if
That's
you lose
right.
the Easy Find?
With Easy Find,
you need an Easy Find to find your Easy Find.
What if you lose that one?
You need an Easy Find to find your Easy Find to find your Easy Find.
Oh, okay.
you'll never lose anything again. It's the patented wireless locator designed with high-tech advanced electronic technology. It can locate 25 different items and always turns lost into found. It's so easy. Just hook or stick an Easy Find tag on the item, then name the item on your locator. If it gets lost, scroll to the item and push the find button. The beep tone tells you where it is.
Okay. I mean, it's not really that terrible of an idea. I mean, I do lose shit all the time, but yeah.
I don't know.
It's like one of those things that sounds good in theory, but then when it actually comes time to like put it into practice, it's just like, is this really worth it? No.
It's that easy. The Easy Find locator keeps track of 25 separate items and covers a range over 50 feet. To demonstrate, we hid a TV remote somewhere in this home in the laundry basket and challenged this grandmother to find it.
Torture test, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
How is it torture?
Sounds like it's all the way across the house. Wow. Easy Find
Wow.
found it buried
Wow.
deep in the laundry.
I found it.
Whoa.
She was so excited.
I found it. Like they were going to kill her family if she didn't or something.
Easy Find is perfect for keeping track of car keys, boat keys, TV remotes, cable remotes, cell phones, cameras, electronic games, even pets. Smart
pets.
Hook that shit to your cat.
Yeah, okay.
keys, remotes, and electronic devices can cost hundreds to replace, but Easy Find turns them from lost to found. Other locators can cost over $200, but Easy Find won't
Wait,
cost
there's
you
more products like this?
Apparently.
I'm going to get one of these.
And they can cost more than $200.
Yeah. I'm going to get one of the $200 ones. They must be better.
They must be. More expensive always means better.
Yeah, that's true.
$200 or $100 or even $60. Order now, and for just
Whoa!
2 easy...
For only 2 easy payments of $29.95? Wait, that is $60.
No, 2 payments? Well, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, they just crossed out $60, didn't they?
Right.
And they're like, no, this is only 2 easy payments for $29.95, which is 10 cents less than $60.
Easy payments of $29.95. You get the Easy Find wireless locator, your first 2 Easy Find tags, plus the hooks and double-face stick-on tape.
So they only give
Wait, they only give you 2 of the fucking tags?
Right.
They just said you can find like 25 things with it. Shouldn't they give you 25 tags?
They should.
Especially for fucking $60. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 easy payments of $29.95.
We'll move on to the next one here.
Why?
I think it's garbage.
Didn't Mom always tell you?
Don't play with your food.
No.
Well, now you can with VeggieBots.
Wow,
the unique
VeggieBots.
new food factory that lets you make incredible edible art out of ordinary veggies. It's so easy. With the VeggieBots stick maker, you'll create tasty building sticks. So try a carrot, celery, whatever your pick. Use the spring-loaded puncher to make a connection hole. There you go.
So, can I just point out that this would be no child's idea
You're right.
of a good time?
Yes, I never would have thought this was fun.
If like this is like the kind of like thing, if you get it as a Christmas present, you don't even open it.
Oh shit, I would be pissed.
This is like your grandma bought you this, and you're just like, no.
We're on a roll. There's
Thanks,
even
Grandma.
a really cool mini hole punch.
Garbage.
Now connect the pieces and make a race car lunch. With VeggieBots, you can create.
Even if you thought it was fun, if you spent all the time making a fucking race car out of vegetables, would you want to eat it right away?
I would not want to eat it anyway because it's vegetables. I think the thinking here is that like the mom will see this or the grandma will see this and be like, that'll get little Johnny to eat his fucking vegetables. And then they buy it and then it just, it sits in a closet collecting dust.
8 vehicles, robots, and characters galore. It's amazing what creative minds have in store. And moms, what better way to get the kids to eat vitamin-filled, healthy treats? So brighten up
I don't
those
know.
lunch.
What better way indeed?
How about buying vitamins?
Or, just being like, eat your fucking broccoli. Whatever happened to that?
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, no. It's like, well, then fuck you. You don't get no dessert. How about you just do that shit?
Box Blues
Instead of
with
sitting
some
there
kid-
agonizing over fucking trying to turn a cucumber into a fucking Lego.
Right.
Pleasing eats. Or make a VeggieBot centerpiece for your next party. VeggieBot's just the thing.
So
to keep
many different
everyone
uses.
entertained. It makes the perfect group project on days that it rains. Best of all, when you're done playing,
Did Dr.
no
Seuss
one
write
goes
this?
away hungry. Use your VeggieBots for fresh ways to have fun with fruit, too. Create fantastic
Wow,
flour.
you mean to tell me the VeggieBot works on fruit as
I
well?
know. It's like
Holy shit, I thought it was just for vegetables.
it
but
does both.
Wow, both things.
It like doubles what it can do.
Wow, because I mean, at first I'm just thinking like only vegetables, but then you find out, and it works on fruit as well. It's like, holy shit, does it? Wow, that is amazing.
Or build amazing creatures with fabulous features. With VeggieBots, you'll never look at fruits and veggies the same way again. It's so easy and fun for everyone. Your VeggieBots comes with stick maker, spring-loaded puncher, and the mini puncher, all for $19.95. And each
Is this another another hidden use for it? Is so parents can like get their kids to make dinner or like chop? Because one annoying thing about eating vegetables is having to chop them up. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So is this kind of a way to make the children do it?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a way to make your children hate you, is what this is.
I agree. People are requesting Bacon Bot.
Bacon Bot. Now
Yeah.
that would be a product.
There's a product where you can make like a bowl out of bacon and fill it with bacon. It's a
Well,
bacon bowl.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now that's a fucking product, my friend.
Here's a clip from a German infomercial where things go very wrong. They're demonstrating the dimensions of a TV that they're selling and measuring it in front of you.
Ganz zufällig liegt er parat. Schauen wir uns das wieder an, damit Sie auch wissen zu Hause, passt
Shut
er in
up,
meinen
Hitler.
Schrank oder auf meinen Tisch.
Hold on. What is he measuring?
He's measuring the
The length of the TV?
the TV, yeah.
What the fuck is like He doesn't even notice it yet too. That's a funny
I know,
thing.
he's
There's
just,
a there's
he's
a big
oblivious. He's just so into measuring the TV that he doesn't even notice there's a dick on the screen.
Right.
Tischchen drauf. Was haben wir hier für eine Diagonale?
Also jetzt haben wir eine Breite.
I have no fucking clue what they're saying, but yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's
like, oh.
You see now he covers it up.
He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like, we got a good eye full. Why don't you just change the channel or something at that point, you know?
Da müssen wir gleich mal umschalten hier. So ein Ferkelprogramm hier. Und das beim WDR, haben Sie das gesehen um die Uhrzeit hier?
Das fällt
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. What is there to say?
The next one is about girls not pooping.
Okay.
You would not believe the mother load I just dropped. And that's how I like to keep it, leaving not a trace that I was ever here, let alone that I just birthed a creamy behemoth from my cavernous bowels.
Okay.
Nothing is worse than stinking up the shared toilet at work, or the toilet at a party, or your lover's apartment. Of course, flushing removes the graphic evidence. Maybe 2 or 3 flushes if your skid marks are as tenacious as mine.
Wow, she's fucking nasty, but I love it.
I know. Talk dirty to me, baby.
Yeah.
But what can be done of that subtle scent of a 300-cow dairy farm? Aerosol air fresheners aren't the most effective option, or the healthiest. Trying to mask the stench, giving you a nice blend of ChemLab carnations with just a touch of feces. So, how do you make the world believe your poop doesn't stink? Or in fact that you never poop at all? Poopery. Poopery is the before-you-go toilet spray that is proven to trap those embarrassing odors at the source and save relationships.
Okay.
Simply spritz poopery in the bowl to create a film on the water's surface that actually traps the odors in their porcelain prison. And when your little astronauts splash down and make contact with the film, they release poopery's
Is this
pleasant
really like
aromas.
that big
So
of a
all those around
concern
you
for
can-
some people?
I think it is like
Wow.
the fact that shit stinks. It's
like yeah. Who doesn't shit? Everyone shits, and everyone's shit is nasty and stinky.
Right.
And like, honestly, like spraying the aerosol in the air is a perfectly adequate fucking solution if you're really that concerned about it.
Smell is a refreshing bouquet of essential oils. Yes, it is a real product. And yes, it really works. We've so
Yeah, at first when I saw this, I was like, this is not real. But
she's even like, yes, it is real, Ben.
Yeah.
sold over 4 million bottles. On
Wow.
Amazon alone, there are over 1,000 reviews rating
4
it 4.8
million people that are just
of
like,
5
I don't want my shit to stink.
Yeah, even the name Poo-Pourri, it's like, I thought it, it was like an SNL style parody commercial, but
Nope.
apparently it's not.
Nope, it's a real fucking thing, Ben.
stars. That's a better Amazon rating than the iPhone 5. If it doesn't completely stop your stench from spreading, send it back for a full refund. Our unconditional stink-free guarantee. If your poo
Finally.
stinks, click here to get your poopery today at poopery.com. So whether you need to pinch a loaf at work, cut a rope at a party, or lay a brick at your boyfriend's, your days of embarrassing smells or prairie dogging it are over. Poopery. Our business is to make it smell like your business.
Okay.
Okay.
I just don't understand why someone would buy that, but I guess if it works, more power to you.
Yeah. Here's a commercial for a hands-free phone device. There's a lot of those out there. Pretty normal, right?
I guess.
Okay. Check this one out.
Hi, I'm Joe Gray with the Gojo Hands Free, the only device on Earth that's truly hands free.
Oh. No.
It's basically a plastic thing that you hook to your head and you stick your phone to it and wear your whole phone on the side of your head.
That is how is that the only device that's truly hands-free?
These things are not hands free.
Yes,
Stick
they
them
are.
in your ears, gross, but you still have to hold your
What?
phone. And it can take up to
No,
60
you don't
seconds.
have to. You can put it in your pocket like you're
Right.
fucking someone who's not a retard.
I even have a place in my car where I can set a phone and close it up and still be hands-free with it.
Right. But apparently no. The correct solution is to use a product that fucking connects your phone perpetually to your head. That doesn't seem like an inconvenience at all.
Look, he's going to demonstrate in 60 seconds how easy this product is.
All right, let's see it.
To put these in. And these are not legal for hands-free driving. The Gojo goes on in 1 second.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry.
1 second. Let's see.
Here he goes.
Hello?
One,
Mississippi.
two.
Hey, Mom, I can't talk right
I
now.
got to 2.
Only the Gojo has both hands free. No batteries, no wires. It makes your phone the hands-free device.
It's true hands-free.
This is like perfect.
Freaking awesome.
No, it's not.
He just adjusted it too. He was like, this is hold on, wait. Okay, now it's perfect.
This is hold on, shit. This is perfect.
I like how there's like women at the gym working out with that fucking thing attached to their head.
Your phone would fall the fuck out.
I know.
It would fall the fuck out.
And it works with all phones. Stick the high-density suction cup to the back of any phone. Flip phones.
Wait, it's held there by a suction cup?
Yeah, one of those futuristic suction devices.
So they're selling a fucking head visor with a suction cup attached to it as a hands-free.
It's real hands-free
device. It's the only real hands-free device. Okay.
Cordless phones, even landlines, and pop it off. The Gojo goes on with one hand, so you can keep your eyes on the road. And if the phone is here, you're not texting while you drive.
This is my daughter,
That's
who
true.
I don't want texting while she's driving.
Wow. Yeah, that's not going to lead to any social ostracization at all.
Right? Aren't you that girl with that fucking thing on the side of your head?
So basically, like, if your mom made you wear that while you were driving, you would just immediately take it off the second you pulled out of the fucking driveway anyway. But no, she's smiling like, yeah, this is great. I love this.
It is so simple. I love it.
Dude, that's awesome.
These things do not reduce radiation. They actually increase radiation by up to 300%.
What?
What does that mean?
Oh, there are people that are concerned with the small amount of radiation put out by cell phones and other wireless devices.
Okay.
So, but I don't understand how that fucking reduces it. Like
Yeah, strapping your phone to your head decreases the radiation.
Right.
No, that seems like it would prolong your exposure tremendously.
Right.
The Gojo even holds your phone for face-to-face video chatting.
Oh.
Okay, now you're really stretching.
I know, right? Or if you want to watch a
hold
movie.
your phone, your hand blocks the inner antenna. If your hand's not blocking, you increase your signal strength. No more drop calls.
Finally.
Do you think he sat down and came up with this list? He's like, oh man, okay, what are the benefits of this thing?
This guy is probably not the one selling it. It's probably some fat dude who's like, all right, let's tell more bullshit, and then you can use it to you use it to hold the phone up while you're doing your video conference, and you can use it. You flip it this way, you watch the movies on it. Yeah, this is a good product. Yeah, we manufacture this thing for fucking 17 cents and sell it for $20 fucking.
Yeah, we'll see how much maybe he'll mention how much they sell it for, but yeah, this cannot cost very much to make.
It's a fucking visor with a fucking goddamn suction cup attached to it. If at the end of this commercial they say this is like $20, anyone who buys it should be shot.
In the same time it takes to answer your phone, the Gojo can be holding your phone. Hello. Yeah, hey, I can do that right now. I'll email you right now. Hold on while I put my ears typing as we speak. I need 2 hands to type. My office line's ringing. Let me call you back. Okay, bye. Hello. Hey, man, I just hung up with Jim. I will email you too right now.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, can you hear me?
Look how fucking easy that is.
Wow. I've never seen something as easy as that in my life. All the ways this just improves
What's
my
up with
existence.
the 70s porn music at this point?
Well, this is a 70s
Yes,
porn.
the Gojo will
This is
hold
just a
the
very
weight of your
belated
phone.
intro.
Any phone, big or small, even the most radical moves won't knock it off.
I don't buy it.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one.
No, let's see what the price is.
Okay.
Can you skip to the end and see if they tell us what the price is? I have to know how much they're charging for this fucking ridiculous product.
Let's see.
Just go to gojohandsfree.com.
You want me to go there right now?
Let's fucking take a look at this shit.
All right.
gojohandsfree.com. gojohandsfree.com. gojohandsfree.com.
It said the webpage is not available.
I guess that this product has already gone out of business.
Right.
Wow. And this is obviously a recent commercial too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm about ready to go.
We'll do one more.
One more.
All right.
Has this ever happened to you?
No.
Introducing the Slob Stopper.
Forget messy spills and unplanned accidents. Just slip it on and enjoy your busy lifestyle.
A bib.
Yeah, I'm like, this is called the bib. It's not called a slob stopper for $14.95. It's called a bib, and you could buy one for fucking $2.
I like the ones with the lobsters on them.
Yeah.
Perfect for your commute and everyday use.
Okay.
Made with polyurethane laminate fabric.
Okay. That's not necessary, and it looks stupid, and it's a bib.
Slob stopper absorbs on one side and is waterproof on the other, with 2 layers for double protection. Don't worry about covering up stains anymore. Go to slobstopper.com and order today. Slobstopper. Bibs aren't just for babies.
Okay, so they at least admitted it was a bib.
Right.
But yeah, that's retarded. And no. Bibs aren't just for babies. It's like, yeah, they really kind of should be.
Yeah, so if you have any more dumb commercials, feel free to send those to our Facebook as well, because we try to do those on Fridays, on Friday shows.
So get those commercials to us.
Yes. So we're about to wrap it up here. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/DP to support the show. You can also go to audibletrial.com/Drunken Peasants to get your free audiobook and also support the show. Thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you on Monday.